Welcome in to a Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show. I am echoing in my ear. Good Wednesday morning to you. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Remember, online at GEAUXChevrolet.com. Lloyd is here. Katie is here. Stewie is here.
Is it just on our end?
I don't know.
It's weird.
It's freaking me out.
About to go no headphones. Should I go no headphones? Yeah. All right, welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show here on this Wednesday edition.
Monday, I just panicked.
We are, we were off yesterday. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their Mardi Gras. Everybody enjoyed their Fat Tuesday. A lot of cool pictures coming out. A lot of cool sights and sounds. Stewie was down in New Orleans. He looks like he's still in the fog.
He does.
Yes, he definitely does. He's got the slow blink. He's got the big smile. Lloyd's on the other side of the board. We'll get a shot to Stewie. Stewie's got a new hairdo here on this Wednesday edition. Stewie rocking the braids. Let him see him, Stewie. You've not taken your Fred's hat off.
Take the head
yet.
off.
Okay,
I really like it, but it's so different.
He did say that he did not know the lady who braided him up yesterday. Did get a name on her.
Was it
just a Mardi Gras day.
No.
Like street braids?
She kind of like saw us at one of my cousin's friend's house, and she just pulled up.
Started braiding?
Started braiding
Tighten
hair.
you up.
She braided like 3 people's hair.
Really?
Yeah. Paid her.
No pay? Free?
Paid her.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay. You obviously couldn't Venmo her because you didn't know her name.
Yeah,
So
I wore a cash app.
It is a Ash Wednesday here in all over the world, and especially here on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Is
I
it all
asked the
over the
crew
world?
what they're giving up for Lent, and nobody was giving up their vices. Nobody was giving up their.
Well, I'm not Catholic, so this doesn't really apply to me.
So would you eat meat fried on Fridays?
Yes, that never crosses my mind.
Okay, all right. Sorry, excuse me.
Do you
Welcome
go get
back.
ashes? Is everybody here going to get ashes today?
Yes.
It's not a thing.
I will
I'm
get my
not.
ashes.
You
I'm
do
not
too?
Catholic.
Oh yeah.
I went
Lloyd,
to
do you
Catholic
get ashes?
school.
I used to whenever I was in Catholic school, and they'd make you go up there and,
Had
had
to.
to, and now I'm no longer a part of that community.
Yeah.
With the ashes. it's too much
Stewie
of a good
sounds
thing.
like he's still under the influence. From
Relax.
Brian Burgess inside of the chat. There we go. That sounds better.
Well, now there's nothing. I don't think.
Yeah, might get any audio. It's good.
We've got no
is
guest
better.
on the docket today. We will be getting you ready for LSU baseball tonight, LSU basketball tonight. It is a busy day of sports. LSU baseball at home taking on UNO. Blake Dean and the Privateers will be down at LSU. We're also taking your mailbag questions. So jump inside of the bunker, jump inside of the chat app, and drop that hashtag mailbag, and we will answer your mailbag questions. Remember, daily, we're brought to you by Go Chevrolet, GEAUXChevrolet.com. We're also brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group. That's our phone line. Real doctors, real solutions. True Blue Water every day. TRUBluewater.com. And then, of course, our coffee, Majestic Coffee, is DeliciousSips.com every single day. All right, let's get into it here on this Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show. We will start with yesterday, the SEC naming their players and coaches of the year, and Dawn Staley being named the SEC Women's Coach of the Year for South Carolina going into the tournament. Kim Mulkey was absolutely robbed of this award. Now, look, I know that Staley has the #1 team in the country, and I know her team has held that ranking for pretty much the entire season. But there was expectation for Staley and the Gamecocks to be #1 in the country throughout the entire year. She held serve, which is tough to do, but everybody knew she had a really good team. They were expected to win, and they won. So, that's a good season, right? I mean, nobody is going to say that's not SEC Coach of the Year deserving accolades. But when you look at what Kim Mulkey did at LSU, that's national Coach of the Year type stuff. Forget the conference stuff. I mean, we had Todd Polites text in a couple of weeks back on the accomplishment that Mulkey was constructing here at LSU, and it's nothing short of historical. In fact, I just pulled the Polite's text up, and it says, in terms of winning percentage increase, yes, it's the greatest in program history. Anything over 81% in 2022 would be the largest turnaround in program's history. This is a week ago. They were currently at 23-4. They've won 2 games since then, or they won a game since then, so they're 24-4. That had them currently sitting at an 85.1% turnaround ratio year to year, the greatest in program history. And for that not to be recognized by the conference is an absolute joke. That it is laughable. It is comical for Dawn Staley to walk away with that award this morning. And I know that this type of stuff probably doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot to Mulkey, and that the proof is really kind of on the floor and in her team as far as what she is accomplishing. But, I mean, to go from 9 regular season wins last year to 25 this year, be second place in the conference, only to South Carolina, who's the number 1 team in the country, a team that they had on the ropes a couple of weeks back in their own arena, it just... And like, I listened to Mulkey last night. She had her radio show over at TJ Ribs, and she said, look, man, I don't need another trophy in my trophy case to validate what she does for her programs and what she does for her teams. It's just, I mean, she did make the comment like she's missing out on her bonus money from it, but I mean, it is, I felt very uneasy about it. I mean, it was just, it felt like she was robbed, and I don't want to take anything away from Staley. Like I know Staley's not the one that decided on the award. She's a very deserving honoree and a very deserving recipient. But I mean, if we're giving Coach of the Year based on somebody having an impact on their program from the sidelines, nobody has impacted their team more than Kim Mulkey has this entire women's college basketball season. And I'm talking about nationally. She deserves National Coach of the Year recognition. And the SEC Coach of the Year felt like a layup. It didn't happen yesterday. But Kayla Pointer made the first team. Alexis Morris was on the second team for the All-SEC squads that were named yesterday. LSU finished up 13-3 in SEC play and 25-4 overall. Some other awards coming out yesterday, or at least some postseason announcements. Tari Eason was named as one of the 10 semifinalists for the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year. This is a huge award, as Tari has 31 blocks, 55 steals on the season. He's averaging 16.5 points a game and 7 rebounds. He's got 34 steals and 18 blocks in SEC play this season. He's also one of the leading candidates for SEC Sixth Man of the Year. But he is one of 10 semifinalists for the National Defensive Player of the Year, the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year. Eason's on the list. Walker Kessler's on the list. Oscar Tshiebwe, the big man from Kentucky, is also on the list. Those are 3 of the 10 finalists out of the SEC. LSU will travel to play Arkansas tonight. The men will tip it off at 8 o'clock on ESPN2. Arkansas enters this game, in my opinion, is probably the hottest team in the conference.
Yeah.
They are 23-6 right now. They're tied for second in the SEC. They've had some enormous wins, a lot of those coming on their home floor. They are tough at Bud Walton Arena. They're 12-4 in the conference, and tonight is senior night in Fayetteville.
Ooh.
So it's going to be rocking.
Are they going to be topless? With some shirts ripping off in there tonight?
I'd imagine. Is that their thing?
Didn't the coach do that?
Oh, Muscleman. Yes, Muscleman. Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not the fans. It's the coach.
No, yeah, it's the coach.
I mean, he could be
coaching.
He could be coaching. He could be coaching topless from the sideline.
He might.
Is he still shoulder brace?
I think he's still braced up.
Lloyd, can we get your guy on to tell us more about it?
Oh, I could shoot a text to Hayes.
Okay.
He's back in.
Or game day?
No, I just undid the video call to make sure.
How we doing?
Audio was
How we doing?
We're good. Back
I
on.
feel the panic.
Back on this. No panic. I actually knew what I was doing this time.
Okay.
I paid very close attention to Joseph.
Okay. So no video calls.
No video calls.
But maybe just a call.
We'll need you back, Joey. We'll need you back here. Arkansas is coming into the game tonight fresh off an enormous win over Kentucky. They're on a 4-game winning streak. And as we said, when Bud Walton is right, when they are playing right at their home arena, that is one of the toughest places in the conference and in the country to go into looking for a win. Wade was here earlier this week. He stopped by on Monday, and he was emphasizing Arkansas and their commitment to defense. LSU has been one of the top defenses in the country throughout college basketball. In fact, they're still a top 5 unit when you look at the overall numbers. Arkansas is number 1. Arkansas is playing as good a defense as anybody out there right now. They're the best defense in the conference. They're one of the best in the country. And I had a chance to stop by and watch them practice yesterday before they loaded up on the plane. And the emphasis on the defensive end that they're putting on the scout was very noticeable in watching them prepare to get on that plane and take off for Fayetteville to Bud Walton Arena. Very active, very, they guard you for in the half court, very tough. They make it tough for you to find driving lanes. They make it tough for you to find shot lanes. They make it tough for you to find passing lanes. They're just a very well-coached and a very cohesive group. I think when you look at defense in college basketball or you look at defense in the sport of basketball, you want everybody kind of tied together, everybody tethered together and playing almost as one, moving in certain directions, help side defense, helping each other out. Arkansas does all of those principles very, very well. If anything that I picked up from just watching LSU prepare and listening to the coaching staff and what they were pounding home on their players yesterday was just how technically sound Arkansas is on defense. Whether, as Wade was describing here earlier this week, their high and active hands that they always have on trying to distract the passing lane and distract the shot lane and distract, just the player that they're guarding. They're very committed to the defensive end. And obviously with players like Note, that they're led by JT Note, who's leading Arkansas, and he's one of the top scorers in the league, averaging 20 per game, right around 19 per game, is going to be a tough matchup. But LSU's got a great opportunity tonight to go into a hostile environment against a team that is playing really solid basketball. And LSU is, look, they're not right, but they have caught some wins of where they've looked their best self like they were earlier this year through certain spurts. Can they put 40 minutes together? If they put the first 20 minutes of Kentucky in the last 35, 30 against Missouri together, and they can combine that for a full game effort. Now, I know it's on the road, and you're asking for a big-time spot. LSU, what, 5.5 point dogs?
5.5.
5.5 point dogs tonight on the road against Arkansas. I think you can keep this thing tight, and possibly if you get into a 1-2 possession game, you give you give yourself a chance at the end of the game, and you find yourself in a one possession where you got a chance to win it. You sign up for that right now, right? At 7:15 in the morning on game day, if I tell you got the chance for a one possession game, at the end of it, you got the ball in your hand with a chance to win it. That's about as good a scenario as that you can ask for here, 8 hours, 10 hours before tip-off.
How crucial is this for seeding? If LSU was able to get a win, as opposed to, I don't think it's that detrimental as a loss, but a win can kind of catapult you. Where do you think they sit right now?
I think right now they're between the 7 and 9 seed. I think that Wade was earlier this week. He was pretty refreshing in his comments, saying that he believed that win on Saturday probably got him into the tournament, so that they're playing really for just kind of postseason numbers right now. I know that ESPN and CBS both updated their NCAA projections this week, which does include LSU in the field. And ESPN's bracketology has LSU as the 6th seed, playing Michigan in the opening round of the Western bracket.
A rematch.
CBS has LSU as a number 7 seed, playing San Francisco and Buffalo, which would be the South bracket. And the Tigers right now have a net ranking of 16 in the country. So, look, I think that they're trending in the right direction. They're in the tournament. They have stamped their ticket for the dance. And a win tonight in a hostile environment like we talked about, in a place that Arkansas is playing with a good reputation and playing really good basketball right now. If they could go in there and win this game, it would be enormous. It would be enormous for what the number would look like next to their name. I think it could, if there are 6 right now in some seeds and there are 7 in other brackets, this could play them up to a 5 or solidify them as a 6, solidify them as a 6 seed in the tournament. But a win here and a win versus Alabama on Saturday and a good showing in the SEC tournament could bump you up as high as a 4 seed.
Do you think that they'll get that love? Because we saw it feels like it's kind of quelled a little bit with the smoke and fire around LSU and Will Wade and them getting. That was a lot of talk early on, certainly with the foul calls and stuff like that. It's like they're out to get Will, they out to get LSU, da-da-da. But it feels like that hasn't really been the case when they talk about seeding. So I'm wondering if LSU can actually make if they make a run, if it'll get respected at all.
Their play will. I think that their play has to.
Because then this thing, it just feels like it's tired at this point. And if they're going to go do it again, it felt like what they did last year was probably the time to do it. All right, you're in the tournament. Obviously, Will Wade and LSU is going to be a contender. They're going to be here every year. Can you consistently punish them every time it's tournament time and just keep doing it until this is what the standard is or the norm?
It's a tough task, and it's tough to do that at this part of the college basketball schedule, right? But for what LSU is trying to do, they're really kind of starting to get right, starting to get healthy again, right? So if they can crank the engine up on it again and really get humming to a point where they were at the beginning of the season, where they were playing with so much confidence, they had their rotation down. Now you got a guy like Sharif who's playing a little bit better. Fudge is a little banged up right now. So you're kind of mixing the parts up a little bit, but you're still getting the same production if you can get everybody on the same page and playing from a health standpoint, at least at their highest level. I think LSU's still a tough matchup, man. There's still a nightmare of a matchup of guys that are long and athletic and can run and can get rim to rim. And, obviously they're going to play defense, and defense travels. And, from the tournament standpoint, you better be able to lock somebody up. You better be able to play defense to win games in that part of the year. So, look, I think that LSU still is a scary scenario for a lot of teams. I still think that people look at LSU and say, hey, we don't want any of them right now. It's best that you stay away from them, because they're a team that, while they've been inconsistent, they can still sneak up and beat you any given day. They can match up with a ton of teams, and they're a tough matchup for a lot of people. And Xavier Pinson.
That defense is going to travel no matter
absolutely.
What. No matter where you go, that's going to show up in tournament
time. And if Xavier Pinson's playing like he has been over the last couple of – if he plays like he did against Kentucky, carried that over against Missouri, he's kind of incrementally – gotten better and better and better since he's been back. And if he can really be the guy every night that protects the ball, puts players in the right position, makes shots. He's making 3-pointers now. I think that LSU they're a different team. They're a different matchup to squads, just because the turnovers have tremendously fallen off. They're protecting the ball. They're making free throws. They're just a different team right now. So I do believe that the X factor for LSU coming down the stretch is going to be a guy like Darius Days. For as inconsistent as he's been up to this stretch, he's got to hit shots. He's got to be able to defend on the other end. Guarding the threes in this league and guarding the threes at this part of the season, that's usually the other team's best player. Those...
Well, I was going to kind of maybe give the nod to Sharif. If he's able to get the minutes that he was able to put in the last game with Shaq in the stands, and he kind of balled out in front of his dad. If he's able to work himself into that rotation that way, I think he could kind of be an X factor, because you haven't really got to see him as much as you would hope. But whenever he plays, he adds a totally different dynamic to LSU, because there's times when they get dominated on the boards. And when he's out there, he just kind of keeps the ball tip. It's another long body in there that can help you.
No, I agree, man. And look, he provides something to LSU that's a little different. Him and that's a cool picture.
Yeah, that's
God,
awesome.
that is a cool picture.
Jack put that together too.
I saw
Really?
That.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I wonder who took that. Dubes?
Dubes.
He could have, right?
Not that one.
No,
No, not that one.
Due to the time
That was
machine,
probably
huh?
like Bill Feig, and that one's great.
That is really cool.
Do you think he did that on purpose? Like he knew his
I
dad was
kind
there
of
and gave
thought
it
he
a little,
did.
like
I
a
mean,
little
like,
ode.
'cause you
little
never
Yeah,
see,
for sure, right?
I mean, there's a
Yeah.
hell of a respect.
That's awesome.
I mean, you got to show that respect though. Like,
Absolutely.
I would do it if Shaq was my dad.
Yeah.
I'm at LSU. I'm doing the Shaq
Do you think
dunk.
he starts doing it? He's gonna take the
wish.
move.
That
should
should
be his
be his
calling card.
signature.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
should be his
Awesome.
signature move.
That would be cool.
He should.
That Shaq logo of him swinging his legs like that was awesome.
I mean, it just couldn't be
It
more in
was
your
awesome,
face.
dude.
So you mean,
Who was the white center from the Knicks that he?
oh god,
Was it
who
Chris
was
Dudley?
I think it might have been Dudley because he picks up the ball and throws it at him
Yeah.
after him when
I mean,
Shaq's
it's
jogging
a
down the
pickup
court.
game.
Yeah,
It's a pickup game.
you gotta be pissed.
You ever seen that highlight?
Uh-uh.
When Shaq puts it on Dudley in the open
I
floor,
don't
and he
think
does
so.
like the Shaq, kicks the legs. I mean, he puts his balls in his mouth.
Face. Yeah,
Wait, I think we did watch that on
And
here
Dudley
one day.
is just like, he's a professional athlete that is just,
furious.
I mean, he's just embarrassed.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got,
Grown man.
he's just grown man. I mean, this guy just, it just
We did
punked
watch
me
that.
on, I mean, in an NBA basketball game. And he picks up the ball and throws it, and Shaq going down the floor.
Another play I've never seen that y'all introduced me to. Wait, speaking of,
Oh,
on the plane.
Wait, Shaq kind of pushed him down too. He
Oh,
gave
yeah,
him a
well,
little
he
He kind of
pips the shit out
pushes
of it.
him with like his legs.
legs though.
He
Yeah,
kind of checks him.
he like
Yeah,
wrapped
he
his
does kind of.
like, all right, just lay down real quick.
I mean, he just couldn't have embarrassed him more.
No, I mean, that's a professional athlete, man. I mean, we laugh at Dudley, but I mean, Dudley is a pro. You know what I mean? For who cares if that's Shaq? Sorry to cut you off.
It's
David.
the support of
No,
pride.
it's
at
fine.
that
It's
point.
like,
awesome.
and he hits it with a fuck you. Like,
He does. He does.
like a fuck you. Like,
I got kids.
I
my
watched
wife's in the stands.
Jump Shot. The
Who?
Kenny Jump Shot. I watched that on the plane yesterday. The Kenny Sailor story. Have y'all watched that? I know it came out a couple of years ago. Steph Curry produced it. Y'all have not watched this documentary, Jump
No.
Shot? Please
No.
watch it tonight.
No, what
Like-
is it
on?
about?
It's about Kenny
Platform.
Sailors, and I had no idea. Like, I never knew his story. I didn't know that
I
he
don't even know
died.
who Kenny Sailors is.
Y'all,
Me
stop
either.
it right now. He invented the jump shot, supposedly.
Oh.
So go ahead and Google it, and I need y'all to watch it because it is
Came out
so
in
cool.
2019.
I know. So I'm like, how did I not? I've never even heard of it before I saw it on the plane. Steph Curry produced it. I think someone else with him
Kevin
as well.
Durant.
Kevin Durant. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Y'all, it is the coolest
Star
story.
power.
Like, the guy, Kenny Sailors, is so cool. I mean, just his entire life story is unbelievable. But now I have this question, did he or did he not invent the jump shot? Because he says he didn't. He's like, there's got to be somebody whose feet left the ground. That's like the famous picture that
So
was in
he
Life
was like
magazine.
the first person
It's a beautiful
to shoot
shot.
a jump
I know,
shot.
isn't it?
It's a
It's
lot.
perfect.
The shorts,
It's-
though.
Yeah,
I
right
mean,
up his crotch.
good.
Well, he's jumping. I mean, can you?
Lord.
Does it show his feet and
I mean,
like
how did you
off the
protect
ground?
your? How
I guess
did,
it
how did
doesn't
people
in that
not
shot.
flop during that?
But look at the
feet are
shoes
off,
and
yeah.
everything. I mean, it's amazing. Yeah, I know. How is it not out?
I don't
Like,
know.
how is the side of
That's
it
what- that's what I
not?
wanna
It
know,
seemed
like,
like
What
it
is
would be
the
out,
science
right?
behind
What is
that?
the sauce?
Like,
This is
Jock
the
strap?
there's
original-
no way I could
Yeah.
be comfortable.
Are
in
we
that.
jock strapping?
I think that's a jock strap.
I was gonna say,
I
like,
Those are the
know.
jock strap days.
I would say like that would have to be a jock strap.
Truck strap or like old school like whitey tighties.
White tighty whities,
Totally
yeah,
Tighty
for
whities.
sure.
Yeah.
For
Well, this
sure.
was
But
like-
still,
this was the
even I mean, have
50s.
you ever tried to wear just a jock strap
It's the
in
most
any
uncomfortable
competition?
thing on the
It's
inside.
got to be the most uncomfortable thing ever invented, and for that to be like something for athletics or like for
Are they
sports
still
to me,
wearing them?
I
You
think
still see them.
you still see
Like
them.
I mean, inside, sports, you can kind of see like the panty line.
Right.
whenever they're
Really?
playing.
Really?
In,
Yeah.
in
Just
football,
a-
they give them like a jock strap, but it's more of like padding. Like it's like the
Yeah, I think
side
that
pads
today's
and a
jock
butt
strap
pad.
is not the one that we're thinking about. It's definitely
It's
not the
not
one
the
that
one
Kenny
we're thinking
Sailors
about.
was
No.
jumping and shooting his jump shot
Not
on.
that one.
It's jump shot.
Yes.
That's right.
Good
It's jump
Lord.
shot.
shorts. Like, yeah.
Just
What am I supposed to do with this, coach? Like,
yeah, right. Like I mean, coach, what do you mean to do with the? He went to Duke.
no, this
No.
is just a picture of the shorts in
Oh,
the
yeah.
That's not him.
1950s.
Okay.
Duke was probably the
He
poster
played
child
for
for short
Wyoming.
shorts. though.
Absolutely.
Like,
Amazing story. I really do want y'all to watch
You
it.
didn't
And,
think
and
of the
they,
shorts while you
7
were
foot.
watching it?
I mean, I thought that they were short, but everyone's were short.
Well,
in
that
the 40s
picture,
and 50s. So yeah,
that picture,
In
that
particular.
that particular picture with
because
the
I think he's jumping
with
up
the
and
side
they-
angle, absolutely.
right? He's coming
Absolutely.
back down, and they're blowing up
I'm
a
gonna
little
go
bit.
to Kenny
Type thing.
Sailors.
So they petitioned for him, like tons of players and coaches, to get into the Hall of Fame, and he didn't make it. And he died. Like he died like a year, like, I mean, I think a year ago, like right before they were still trying to get him in the Hall of Fame. And it was just the sweetest story. But he claims, again, that he did not invent the jump shot. Like, he might
Kenny.
have, but
Take
he's
it.
saying...
Embrace it, bro.
Well, no, but he's saying, surely I'm not the first person whose feet left the ground when I shot the ball. And
What were they doing?
probably
Shooting like
not.
granny shots before that,
Well,
right?
they said you weren't allowed to. Like, the rules of basketball were completely different. Like, you had to have both feet on the floor. You had to shoot with two hands, like, not a one-handed jump shot.
It's like that Olympic sport. Have you ever seen that? Wherever they have like the one goal, and you can't jump wherever you catch the ball. You have to pass it again, and then you can't leave your feet to shoot,
That's
and you
their
can't really
sport?
leave your feet to get a rebound.
Like
yes,
peach basket?
It is. I mean, it's
Like
it's
right now, that's
exciting.
an Olympic
oh yeah,
sport?
people still play it.
Winter or Summer Olympics?
Summer Olympics.
What's it called?
I don't know.
That's weird.
you
Now,
make that up?
I'd like no.
feel
I'd
like
like
you
to call
did.
it basketball, but I know it's not basketball.
Is he wearing a belt in that picture, Lloyd? Can you
Probably
tell?
so.
a belt?
He's wearing a belt.
Probably
like, with
so.
his
I think back in the day,
basketball
basketball
Oh.
uniforms did have kind of like the, rather than
Like
the
a baseball
drawstring,
uniform?
it was kind of like a
Check
belt.
this
Oh,
out.
it
no.
is. It's like an athletic belt, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like a baseball
Yeah,
hand
right.
belt type
Baseball
thing.
belt.
Right.
There's no way
That's
that
so
those shorts aren't tight enough
weird.
without it.
And then the shoes are like boots. Like he's like
Yeah.
I
wearing
mean,
boots.
but coach, like even like Magic Johnson and Kevin McHale and
Yeah.
Bird and like Michael Cooper and those like Lakers Celtics teams had shorts on where you're like,
Yeah,
what is the
this?
science behind this?
Why?
I mean,
you don't want to be restricted, cuz you got to
Yeah.
get
I
that
hear you,
mobility.
coach, but I mean, you got to imagine that those guys, I mean, like they ain't just, they ain't
everybody-
swinging with a bunch of showers, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, they got some, I mean, like, Magic, how are you pulling this off?
Well, there's a story of Karl Malone that used to had to tape it down. I don't know if you've heard that. Great
I have heard that, but how do you
Tape
play?
his shorts down?
No.
his member?
What?
Oh, really?
He'd like
Tape
tape
it
it
down?
What?
tape it to his leg.
No, not his leg, coach. He had to like tape it like under
No,
because the
stop.
shorts were too short,
Yeah.
and then like the
He had to,
jock
like,
strap
tuck and
wouldn't
tape.
fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to do with this thing?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do with this jock strap? You know what I mean? I got a python that I'm trying to protect under here.
It's
You
like,
know what I mean? Like, better go get me a sock. You know?
I gotta make the shorts longer.
That's so awkward.
Not for him.
No, but I mean that's weird.
It's more awkward for the guy that's got a tape.
Yeah,
the tape, the
yeah.
trainer.
Can you help me out?
Yeah, right.
No
God.
way.
Carl, can you pick your leg up, please?
No way.
You
More
gotta
awkward
go
for the guy that says like, no, these shorts are fine.
Gotta be- gotta go.
I don't know what the problem is, Carl.
up and under here, Carl. You don't mind. Remember, daily, we're
Lift your
brought to you
leg
by
just a
Edward
little
Jones. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com is how you email our financial advisor if you need any fiscal advice. It's tax season. If you're looking to hang on to a couple, if you're looking
Who's
to,
that?
is that Danny Ainge?
Is that
That's
Larry
it.
or
Yeah, that
Danny?
is Danny.
Look at
Ainge.
those shoes.
Oh, Larry's
He's-
Converse.
It's him and Magic Johnson. But I don't know.
Golly, dude, there's some old school ones.
I kind of like the socks,
too.
with them,
I do too. I like everything about that.
except the shorts. And out there, I mean, Emmett Williams tried to bring back the short shorts
did,
for LSU.
Javante.
And Javante. I think it's a good look, but that was
I
entirely
like
too
shorter
short.
shorts.
Yeah.
They're too long now.
No, too
They
long.
got too long.
St.
Too long
Bonnie's.
is-
St.
yeah,
Bonnie's.
Yeah,
Have you
too
seen that
long.
picture?
Yeah.
That guy
Too long. is
That's
looks
that.
like a Halloween outfit.
Yeah.
You can't play in that.
Remember Edward Jones,
No
Daniel
team
Newman,
required.
Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. You can get in touch with him for fiscal advice today. He's our financial advisor. Let him be yours. He's located out in central Louisiana. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. Easiest way to get in touch with him. You can email him directly to his desk, ask him any questions, set up an appointment, go out and see him, ask him any fiscal questions that you may have. 401k, investment strategy. If you work within the plan industry and you're looking for some answers on financial advice, Daniel Newman is an expert within that field. Let him help you out. Get in touch with him, Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com, or dial him up at 225-261-8262, 225-261-8262 is the phone number to get in touch with Daniel Newman. All right, this Art Briles story up at Grambling has caught national attention over the last couple of days, and it looks like Briles, or it doesn't look like it, Briles is officially not going to make it at Grambling, as he has stepped down the offensive coordinator role that he was offered over at Grambling to run that side of the offense, and now is out. As soon as Doug Williams spoke up on this, it felt like this was going to be a PR nightmare for Hugh Jackson, Grambling Athletics, and Art Briles. Briles resigned amid a lot of backlash from his hiring. Former Grambling State football legend Doug Williams and Zachary native. He's also the namesake on the academic center, told the Washington Post following the hire he was against the move. Williams holds a lot of influence and support at the university on campus. He told the Washington Post he would no longer support the program. Williams said, "I'm not a fan of it at all. I'm very disappointed in Grambling. I really am. I talked to the AD a couple of times. They know where I stood, but they did it. And if that's what they wanted to do, that's fine. I'm out. If I support them, I condone it." In August of 2017, obviously, Art Briles, it was swept up in the mess of Baylor and everything that was going on campus.
This was Title IX stuff?
Title IX stuff. They were covering up rape. They were covering up sexual misconduct by the football team on campus. And it was...
Like current players?
Current players, former players. The stories all started to come to light. And it was pretty much a campus-wide letdown. I mean, like people, the campus, from everybody from the police to the administrators to the football coaches, nobody stood up and protected the victims.
It was so bad it got to the point that their actual, what they put on the table, I don't want to say as an excuse, but their reason for thinking, I guess, was we don't even have Title IX in place.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, we don't even have anybody to give this to. Mm-hmm. And so that's when it was really like, well, this is like conduct detrimental. This is failure to run a program. Like, that's like almost as big of a, I guess, an axe swing as you could get it for any program that gets in trouble. It's almost a death penalty, like in that sense of, what do you mean you don't have Title IX in place? And like, I don't know, what was it, 10 years ago, I guess, with Art Briles?
2016 was when he was fired. So that was the last time he coached?
He coached, he was a volunteer for, I believe, the Cleveland Browns with Hugh Jackson. After
Since
that.
Then, okay.
And then he coached a team in Italy. There was
Oh.
a football league in Italy, which, I mean, somebody obviously told him, like, hey, Art, you just got to get out of here. You got to get the hell. If you want to coach football, you can't do it in America. Because wherever
Canadian League.
He was in the Canadian League for a while. But he did go to Italy and coach in a league over there because his name is so tainted on American soil in and around the game of football. I mean,
So
whether
he covered this stuff up?
he was the head coach at the time. He's still, and what has made it even worse for Briles is that he has not taken any accountability on it. He has still said that, he's still not apologized for it. Whether, he does not believe that he's done any wrong, or he's still continuing to believe whatever was happening on that campus during that time was the code of conduct that was, allowable is would be the term that we could start with, but just humane. Like, forget all of this stuff. You know what I mean? I think that's what people look at Art Briles and say, yeah, maybe there wasn't the protocols and the processes put in place to make this stuff, be called out or brought to the forefront. But you're a leader. You're an educator. You're a parent, right? Like, I mean, you understand the severity of the stuff that people are accusing Baylor football of. And for him to kind of bury his hand in the sand and still kind of have a woe is me type of attitude about it, I think is even more of a turnoff and more of a, hey man, you're not going to get another chance anywhere until at least you are accountable for what was going on the campus during that time. And even if he does, I'm not saying that gives him a better chance at a second opportunity, because what was going on that campus during that time is vile. And it's a lot of the same stuff that not to the degree, but LSU for a minute was compared to the Baylor drama of what was going on the campus, just because of the negligence of the leadership, just because of the part of the leadership where you were like, hang on, what are the people even doing here? Who's protecting these people? Where do they go if something happens? Just because it's, a football, just because it's Darius Geis, people are going to turn their head and go the other way? Now, at Baylor, it was much more, there were many more instances and there were more players, but it was very similar, the stories, to kind of what was happening here. People were taking complaints and, rape allegations to people on campus, and they weren't being either taken serious or they weren't being taken to the proper authorities. This was what was happening at Baylor on a much more wider scope, right? And Art Briles was the head coach. A lot like Les Miles got caught up in the wash of what the times and what was going on his program during that time that he was here. He'll never get a job again. He'll never be taken seriously ever again. Art Briles has that same type of funk on his name that, look, you could be a bright, talented, smart football coach, but the stuff that you covered up was so inhumane and such a what type of person are we even hiring storyline that a school like Grambling was never going to get away with this. It was whether it was going to be the backlash from national media, local media, or their most famous alum like Doug Williams, who stood up and said, they can do it if they want. They've heard from me, but if they do that, I'm out. And, you can't support this. There's no way. You can't bring Art Briles onto a college campus and then send him out into recruits' homes and sit in the living room with somebody's mom, somebody's sister, somebody's girlfriend, somebody's relative, and say, hey, yeah, we're going to protect everybody. We take it serious. And the first time somebody across from him says, yeah, but what about you, Art? What happened at Baylor when you were covering up rape? And you weren't even winning national championships. Not that makes it better, but you weren't even covering it up for greater wins. You were just doing it and we're claiming negligence. And now we're supposed to trust you in handing over our son, or if you're a parent of a female going into college and you look at that, Grambling's probably off the table now, thinking, hey man, I'm not sending my daughter to a college campus that's going to make a hire of somebody that has this hanging over his head and he's still yet to be accountable for it.
Well, they cleared him in August of any NCAA violations. So is that why Grambling hired him?
I think that gave Grambling the green light to hire him, but you still have to make human decisions.
Well, yeah.
You still have to make choices that are looking out for the best interest of the institution. Forget the football program. You know what I mean? This is much bigger than the football program. This is much bigger than the offensive coordinator. If it was just that simple and it was just about football and you could keep everything behind closed doors and locked up, then I understand why you want him, because he's a really good football coach. And he's probably going to put together an offense that's going to be tough to defend. But in the grand scheme of it, that don't mean nothing here.
Well, why did he resign 4 days after being hired, though? What did something else come
Doug
up?
Williams came out and said, I will never support the program as long as Art Briles is there. And Grambling's AD went to Art Briles and said, Art,
never mind.
You're either resigning or I'm going to have to fire you. And I'm giving you the opportunity to not put termination on your resume. Just resign, because I can't keep you. Right? I mean, if Doug Williams is threatening to not support the program, Doug Williams is bigger than you here. And we're going to have to do that.
So he's done then.
He's
everywhere,
done,
pretty much, right?
He's done.
We said he coached in Canada. He tried to coach in Canada. And the same thing happened. He got his offer rescinded almost after a week of being there. So he's too hot to touch even out of the United States of America.
Wow.
And you rarely see this, and I don't know, right, wrong, or indifferent, but somebody as good of a coach as Art Briles, you usually find a place, because winning kind of trumps everything. You usually will find somebody like that landing back on their feet with a job.
Yeah.
And for this is kind of it's a pretty big statement for a guy like Art Briles, coaching-wise, to not be able to stick anywhere where college football is king and there's so much money to be made. If you can get Art Briles on your offensive staff and score 45 points a game, a lot of people would sign up for that. But his inaction was so, I guess, disgusting that nobody really wants to. This will follow him forever.
Yeah,
And
no, it will. No, it has. I mean, it's tainted him forever. I believe he was at a Texas high school last year or 2 years ago, where he caught back on. And look, that may be the best place for him to be. Is if he's going to be contrite, if he's going to come out and be apologetic for it, maybe a place where he can show that learned lesson at a very, organic place like a high school might be the spot. I don't know, but for colleges and for what happened to him at Baylor, and I know people are talking about, Doug Williams didn't mind taking checks from Daniel Snyder. Look, I'm not here to get into the morality of Doug Williams and where he, where that cuts off for him. I do know that Grambling means a ton to Doug Williams, and that, he's the biggest name that school outside of Eddie Robinson, and Robinson was just a coach there, has ever produced. And when he speaks, people on that campus are going to listen. And he was very forthright on his feelings about Art Briles being a part of that institution. And when he spoke, people moved. And
So what's going to happen to him now? What will he do?
Briles?
Just retire and be done?
I guess he could go back to high school.
But I mean,
But I mean,
even
why would they
even
hire
then,
him?
that's what I'm saying. Like, you want to just kick the can down
Well,
the road
yeah.
on his ability to influence what happens with, younger kids,
Right.
high school kids.
That's what I was thinking. Like,
Yeah.
why would you want him to be like the head
You
person
wouldn't,
for
right?
You know,
I wouldn't
right?
think.
Put him in that situation.
Cody Boudreaux, murderers, rapists
Okay.
can have redemption stories, but a proxy rapist can't get back into his industry. I know both are effing terrible and sick, but they should have some path into coaching. I'm not saying that Art Briles does not deserve a second chance. Please do not let that come across, because I believe in second chances. I've been given many second chances in my life. If I can extend second chances from the position I am in, I believe that is wholesome, that is worthy to do. But I think to deserve a second chance, you have to be accountable about the problems that happened the first time. And the thing that is making Art Briles so stinchy about giving a second chance is that he still believes what happened at Baylor was not wrong. And I think if that would be an enormous first step for Briles to come out and say, look, and even now would probably be the best time because people are talking about him, is to call some impromptu press conference or just fire up social media. In today's age, I mean, people like Art Briles, people like Zion Williamson, if you've got a message, you don't need to call the press. Just go live on your Instagram. Or tell somebody, if you're Art Briles around your camp, to know how to learn how to do that and put me in front of a camera and holds a press conference where people can either ask him questions or he asks the questions that are most newsworthy about Briles.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what happened at Baylor? Explain what happened from your point of view. Give your apology if you feel like you need to give one. But from a public relations standpoint, I would encourage you, if you want to get back into coaching, this would be the first step to take, is to own it. Be accountable for it. Apologize for it. And let people know that that's not who you are and that's not where you want to run your program or how you want to run your program, and see if somebody can accept that. I guarantee you there are a lot more athletic directors out there that want to take a chance on Art Briles, because they know if they hire Briles, that gives them a ton of job security, because he's probably going to win football games. That if he does that, it makes the message a lot easier to sell to your board of directors, the president of the university, of, hey, look, this guy, he screwed up, man. He screwed up royally while he was on Baylor's campus. He screwed it up bad. But since then, he's tried to coach everywhere, and he's finally sat down and been accountable for it. He's owned it. He's apologized for it. Maybe now is the time that we are the school that brings him back and shows that he is sorry for it. If that's the case, I'm all in. I go ahead, man. You know, if somebody, I think what's turning off people from Art Briles' standpoint is that he still believes that he didn't do anything wrong.
Well, yeah, that's why he's not sorry. You don't say you're sorry unless you're admitting to something that happened for sure. So he clearly doesn't think that it was all true, right? I mean, I'm looking at it. It was 31 football players committed 52 rapes over the course of 4 years.
It was bad.
That's a lot. But I mean, I need like super details about that kind of thing, like about him. Like I want to know, like he clearly doesn't think that this all happened. I mean, it says potential criminal conduct by one of his players. Like that's what he learned. So he does not think that 31 football players committed 52 rapes, right? This is all just allegedly.
Allegedly. Wasn't it one of the scenarios when when the can of worms was opened, everybody came forward and everybody was trying to kind of... Yeah, it's always like that. And it was just, it was a bizarre scenario. I don't know if it ever actually had any finality to it other than Art Briles getting filed. It doesn't sound like it. And Baylor getting sanctioned. But I don't know. I don't think anybody did any follow-up really on the story.
Yeah.
Jimmy James, I hire Art at LSU today in a non-recruiting role, lead offensive analyst, man is an offensive football savant. I guarantee you there are a lot of coaches and a lot of ADs around the country having that conversation.
For sure.
That's the thing. I agree with you, Jimmy. I mean, look, if he was contrite, if he was apologetic, if he owned his actions or at least gave his detailed account of what happened during that time and why everybody seems to be so gray and so kind of have this awkward feeling about Briles, if he was to admit that, then I believe it would open up a lot more doors for him. Would it open up, Power 5 head coaching opportunities? Probably not. But I think he could be an analyst at Alabama. I mean, I think he could be an analyst at LSU. I think he could be an analyst at schools like that can kind of tuck him away and not put him on the streets as a recruiter, but get him back into the game. If that's what he wants to do, if he wants to get back into college football, I think there are paths for that to happen.
I think this was the path.
But he's still not exhausted the one that says, hey, man, let me just own my actions. Let me just call to the forefront and say, hey, look, I fucked up at Baylor. I screwed up. I should have fixed that. I was the head coach. That happened on my watch. I'm the one that's responsible for that. Was it as bad as everyone believes it to be as it was reported? I don't believe it was, but one is bad enough, right? Like, own that. Even if it wasn't 31 or 52, whatever it was once, and that's enough. And I was the head football coach, and we didn't take the proper action and protocol to keep our student athletes protected from our team. And that'll never happen again. People need to hear you say that. Athletic directors, boosters, people need to see Art Briles. And I mean, one thing I would say about Briles is that I feel like I haven't seen him since he's been at Baylor. I don't even know he looked 90 when he was at Baylor. What does he look like now?
Not great, Bob.
No. He's good. 66.
I don't know.
But he was one of those 60-year-olds that looked 90.
Mm-hmm.
And then he grew out the beard.
Yeah, he does look like that.
Oh, God.
I mean, do you have an updated photo on this guy?
It's him at Grambling.
But were any of these players convicted? Like, what came of this? It doesn't look like
anything
actually came of it.
I don't know the legalities of. Wow.
Oh God.
Good Lord.
It's like a Halloween character.
Did he dye the hair?
He had dark hair like a
minute
minute
ago.
ago.
Cheech. Doesn't he? Kind of looks like Tommy Cheech. Or is it Tommy Chong?
It's just Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he almost looks younger with the longer hair, though.
Yeah, but did he dye it? Because in his older pictures,
so weathered.
It is strange.
In his older pictures, his hair is brown.
It's a lot of sunshine.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
And
practice
dark.
fields right there.
That's a lot of high school football.
A lot of practice
3:30
fields.
p.m.
Yeah.
Get out there,
is.
boys.
No bucket hats.
No, you're late. I just got out of chemistry, dude.
I mean, does he have anything else on his record? Any other smears, or is that it? I know this a lot, and I'm not discounting rape, especially 59 cases of it allegedly. But was that it for him? Like the rest of his career was good and fine?
I believe so. I don't know Art's. I don't know it in depth, but that's enough.
People kind of gave up on him after that.
That's way more than enough.
Remember, Hargrove Roofing, Steele Henry is our guy. Get in touch with Steele Henry if you've got any roofing troubles around South Louisiana. 318-229-7266 is the phone number. That's a direct line. There you go. There's Art on the left.
He wishes.
It might be.
Yeah.
Somebody at the Hunter P card in the chat said, "Is that the Vandy Whistler?"
Oh my gosh, it
like
does
it.
look like the Vandy Whistler.
Kind of looks like it.
That guy.
Remember, if you've got roofing problems, get in touch with our friend Steele Henry. 318-229-7266. Know who's on your roof. He is a fine professional from Hargrove Roofing. He can help you out today, no matter what your roof is, shingles, metal roof. Let him help you out. 318-229-7266. 318-229-7266 is the Mailbag Wednesday. We will answer your mailbag questions. Hashtag mailbag inside of the chat app. We will get them answered here just after the 8 o'clock hour. Reset. Come back here. Get you ready for hour 2. We'll continue to talk about this LSU baseball, basketball team getting ready for tonight. Baseball going to play against UNO.
Which one?
Baseball, basketball.
UNO 6 o'clock.
Basketball.
The basketball.
Oh, speaking of, I found my sport. It is netball.
Netball.
Look at this, dude.
They can't jump.
Look how intoxicating this is.
Why
Did
is
she
it
just
so
walk?
slow?
Yeah, that's what you should. That's what they're supposed. That's how you
Are they
play
wearing
it. And she
skirts?
missed it too.
No backboard.
No backboard, yeah.
Are they wearing dresses?
Yeah,
What's
it's like
happening?
some little lacrosse uniform.
So, Jordy, you would rather a goal with no net than no backboard?
No, that's a good
It's a
one.
good poll
No
question.
That's a
backboard.
great
that
poll
would be
question.
really hard.
Right, but just
Yeah,
for
but
aesthetics.
the no net
yeah.
is weird too.
almost makes you not want to play.
You don't know if you make it or not.
Yeah.
Well, with a backboard, you barely make it. I mean,
But at least you have
no,
a net.
The
and
backboard
you know.
is the backboard's the money. That's how you do make it.
Yeah.
I know that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't you rather have a backboard and no net?
I don't know if I were to
It's
play
I don't know the aesthetic of the net.
Are we
is-
talking about netball though or basketball?
basketball.
Both basketball.
Okay.
I mean,
Netball, you don't have a choice.
Yeah,
You
I
do.
need a
You're
backboard.
You're not getting a backboard.
But
I
if
need
you
a backboard.
practice with no backboard, turn into a hell of a shooter.
That's true.
Yeah.
You'd be a menace.
That is true.
Yeah.
But like,
Can't let no layup pass.
Sure. Surely people do
the
that.
depth is
Kenny
all, like
Sailors.
it's different.
Yeah, Kenny Sailors. Throw the shorts back on.
Y'all, please watch that tonight so we can talk about it.
You think he got buried in those?
Probably not.
The shorts,
man.
no, but his
there's
funeral
no
was
way.
in Wyoming's, not arena, whatever you call it.
Jim?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, like their basketball gym.
Yeah.
Little high school.
Yeah.
Jim.
It was
gym.
really sweet. Really sweet.
So
I wouldn't
guess-
imagine so. Just too much.
Yeah, but I would. Well, it's not a lot at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your physique changes from 20 to 80.
You tighten that belt up.
Oof.
Because I guess
Yeah.
that's why
It did
MJ
change.
could wear
I
them
mean-
underneath the bull. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
You can see sometimes when he picks his
It's like the LSU pads.
when he would get his when he would get into his defensive stance and I mean that's what Kobe used to do when he would pick his shorts up when
Yeah.
he get into the defensive stance. That was Mike's move, and it was sometimes when he would have his shorts up, you could see that Carolina blue practice short underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Well, Sophie's whole team, they tuck their shorts now up under their, under shorts to make them shorter.
See, that's what Javante and Emmett were doing. That's how they got there. See, to me, you should just order the short shorts.
They won't let them.
Why?
I don't know. I asked them, I'm like, why don't we just get all these hemmed? Because they're all tucking them up and they're
Of course,
like,
Katie's like,
Get
"Can we
us-
get
I
you
know. I'm
some?"
like,
Get a
"What?
smaller
Let
size.
me
I
do
agree
this
with
for
that.
y'all. They
I mean,
won't.
I was asking Stringfellow and them back in the day, that looks weird. They're tucking their stuff under their tights. Just get them short shorts.
I know.
Just get them the Magic Johnson shorts and let them rock them. I mean, if that's what they want,
They're gonna do it anyway.
yeah, let them
they're
wear
doing
it.
it anyway, but regulation that doesn't allow them. They have to be a certain length.
Yeah, see
But
it-
nobody says a word when they're tucking them.
See, like in football, if you want your pants to be above you, then
Right.
you just get a smaller size.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that either.
I know, but everybody does
Everybody
it.
does
It's
it.
They don't even wear knee pads anymore,
No.
or pads,
Weird.
really.
Yeah, just the pants.
All right, hashtag mailbag. Make sure you get inside here. Hashtag mailbag. And then our poll question here from Southern Eye Center of Baton Rouge, located on Jefferson Highway. Stop in and see Dr. Annie Shaw. She's taking 25% off of sunglasses when you mention the Jordy Culotta Show. That's all you got to do is get over to the Jordy Culotta Show or get over to Southern Eye Center of Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and mention Jefferson Highway. Would you rather play basketball without
Mention
a
the
net or
Jordy
without a
Culotta
backboard? Without a net or without a backboard? Did I screw it up?
You said mention Jefferson Highway, which I'm
Ex-
sure you could
Noah.
do.
No, would you rather play basketball without a net or without a backboard? Okay.
Okay. See, I think it's gonna be sneaky.
Noah's a
backboard,
shooter.
Yeah.
Noah's a shooter, though. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see?
Noah, I found your baseball hat in my bed last night. There it is.
Oh. Anything else? Check where your feet are.
A rapper.
That's where it was.
Oh, okay, eating in your bed, dude. He was
Laying
over
on
on
your
his stomach.
Hour 2 of the Jordy Culotta Show coming up next, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. We're close here.
Yeah.
Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you daily by Morales Roll-Offs. Morales Roll-Offs provides dumpster rentals for residential and commercial needs in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. Morales has roll-off dumpsters ranging from 10 yards to 40 yards to accommodate all of your disposal needs. Search online, moralesrolloffs.com.
Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, Hour 2 here, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to our friends over at Go Chevrolet. Stop in and see them on Airline Highway, or Florida Boulevard, and Sherwood Forest for Go Express Auto Sales, or out in LaPlace for brand new cars. Go Chevrolet online at GEAUXchevrolet.com, and get over and stop and see GoFlow today. GoFlow IV is located on Jefferson Highway, 7370 Jefferson Highway. You mentioned the Jordy Culotta Show, 15% off of your initial purchase over there. So mention Jordy Culotta Show over at GoFlow IV, GEAUXflowiv.com on Jefferson Highway. Stop in and see them and tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, we talked a little bit about LSU basketball last hour. LSU women's basketball, Kim Mulkey absolutely robbed of the SEC Coach of the Year. It went to Dawn Staley. It was the 5th time that Staley had won the award. She's got the number 1 team in the country. They were expected to be the number 1 team in the country. They knew that South Carolina was going to be good. South Carolina here at the end of the regular season is good and still number 1. At the beginning of the year, LSU was chosen to be in the cellar of the conference. They had 9 conference wins last year. That's it, 9. This year they've got 25, sitting at the 2nd seed in SEC play. Looks like they're going to be a national seed, a top national seed, a top 16 seed, and host games on LSU's campus. Mulkey robbed yesterday. She mentioned it last night on a radio show where she told the listeners she doesn't need another trophy for her trophy case to validate what she's got going on in the kids and what they're giving her down here. She did call and ask Scott Woodward if she could get the SEC Coach of the Year bonus, even though they didn't give her the title.
She deserves that for sure.
She doesn't deserve any more money, though. She's making all the money,
yeah,
bro.
But do you think that Scott Woodward would do that, like as a sign of good faith?
Probably so. Why wouldn't you?
He
Why
should.
wouldn't you?
I mean, they put 105,000 asses in the seats this year alone, compared to 100,000 over the last 5 years combined. I mean, she deserves some type of bonus. But robbed yesterday by the SEC. They did name Kayla Pointer a first-team player, and Alexis Morris was on the second team. So LSU picked up a couple of awards yesterday, but improved to 25-4. It's the best record since winning 31 games back in 2008 for LSU women's basketball. 13-3 in the conference and second in the league right now as they go into the conference tournament. So we will watch that as that tournament gets underway. We mentioned a little bit about LSU and Arkansas in the first half of the show. LSU baseball tonight is going to have their first pitch versus UNO. That'll be at 6 o'clock this afternoon over at the box. Look, everybody's going to be looking ahead to this weekend. It's a huge weekend for LSU baseball. Tigers right now sit at 7-1. Last week they were 4-1 while cleaning up over the weekend with 4 wins over Towson and Southern. They lost the midweek game to Louisiana Tech. This week, obviously, UNO, Blake Dean, the Privateers will be here tonight. But then this weekend, they'll play Oklahoma on Friday. They'll play number 1 Texas on Saturday. Then they'll play Baylor on Sunday.
Jeez.
This will be a hell of a test for LSU baseball in a major league park under the new direction of their first-year head coach. They'll go on the road for the first time in a weekend series.
Wait, how many games then this weekend?
3.
Okay.
3 in Houston. Oklahoma, Texas, and Baylor. Friday,
What's
Saturday, and Sunday.
Oklahoma like? Are they ranked?
They're not ranked.
Okay.
Texas is number 1 in the country, though.
Yeah.
So that'll be the
Is
stiffest
anybody
test.
going to that? Anybody going over to Houston?
Nobody from
Nobody
us.
in here?
We
That's what I
couldn't
mean.
get the credentials in time. But nobody.
It'll be
Try.
a cool weekend.
Huh?
I don't even think we even tried.
No, I called Bill Franco's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like, I don't remember even having that conversation.
Well, I got a text message from Jack.
Yeah, Jack was. I think
Stating
Jack
that he
was
wanted to
trying
go, and I texted Frank. I think we were just a little late for the party.
You know what we won't be late for? That trip to the Cayman Islands next year for
Yes.
LSU basketball.
Yeah, what's that about? What's happening
Little
there?
preseason
A
tournament.
little preseason, you know.
That's for sure. That's set. That's happening.
They're in it.
They're in it.
They're in it for sure.
I've never
Gotta go
been
check
to
your
the
bank
Cayman
accounts.
Islands. I know, right?
Yeah. Will Wade.
I will wait for you.
In the Cayman Islands.
Jay Johnson is holding out the name of his midweek starter for tonight. UNO was at Kansas over the weekend. But it will be interesting to see how Johnson manages the pitching staff tonight going into such a big competitive weekend over in Houston.
How's UNO?
For LSU. Usually competitive. I mean, Blake Dean usually got a
runs a tight,
squad.
good
Blake
ship
Dean,
over
former
there.
LSU baseball player, is doing good work over there. But I mean, on paper, LSU should
Yeah.
Right.
be able to take care of UNO tonight. But, baseball is a quirky game. It's a funny game, and you get caught looking ahead or you're thinking about something that's going to happen a couple of days from now rather than living in the moment. And, baseball can exploit the hell out of you.
Well, Oklahoma doesn't have a midweek game this week.
Okay.
5-2. They played Northwestern State last weekend.
Oh, how'd that go for them?
Lost the first game and then
What?
won the next 2. Yeah, they lost 4-2 to Northwestern
the
State on
defense came out
Friday.
swinging.
Yeah, bro.
Watch
Yeah.
out. I don't even know the name of the home field.
And they don't have a midweek, and they play LSU Friday. So
Wow.
it's just a little rest week for them, I guess.
You got bit by the boogeyman. Doug Ireland from the grave.
All right, Cajun Ready Mix Concrete. Remember Cajun Ready Mix Concrete online at CajunRMC.com. If you need a job, whether it's industrial, residential, municipal, or residential, you can get in touch with Cajun Ready Mix Concrete. 9 locations around the greater Baton Rouge area, which means when you order concrete, it will be delivered to you on time to the exact specifications. Check them out online at CajunRMC.com. CajunRMC.com is where you find them. All right, we'll answer your mailbag questions here in a couple of minutes. Make sure that you have your mailbag questions lined up for us. Hashtag mailbag. If you want to get inside of the chat app and get the question over for us, we'll make sure and answer that here in a couple of minutes. Did you get that?
Oh, yes. I'm about to filibuster here for a second so I can pull it up. How many days can you take off, of doing this job before you feel like, oh, shit, I need to get, rusty?
2.
2?
Absolutely.
Just the weekend?
I feel
No doubt
like I
about it.
don't even know sports anymore from not having
You
the
were
TV
off the
on.
reservation.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
I was, but I mean,
And were you completely checked out? That's the thing.
She was on the phone a little bit.
I can't ever completely check out. But
But of the news cycle.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I kind of kept up with what's going on in Ukraine, obviously a little bit, but other than that, yeah, I got
Not a
back
great
and I'm like,
vacation
what's even?
spot.
I had Sports Center on this morning. I'm like, what's even been going on?
Yeah.
I gotta hurry up and catch up. Yeah, it
Major League
feels weird.
Baseball staying in strike mode. I saw where
know,
Manfred
that
canceled a couple of
sucks.
weekend games already, starting to see some movement there. So hopefully they can get this deal done at some point here.
That's a shame. It doesn't sound like anything's happening with it.
I know it doesn't.
That's awful. Poor Mikey. I guess he's gonna be talking about that a lot today, huh?
I would think so.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
But, I mean, great for us, bad for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that too.
That's
Selfishly.
what I told him. Yeah, it's like, well,
Yeah, I've kind of told him the same thing.
the
No.
more you're around, the better it is
I really
for
don't
us.
care.
He's like, well, I'd
Yeah.
like to play some baseball. And I was like, I bet.
I'd like,
Like
to
to do
finish
my
living out
job
my
if I
dreams.
could.
Yeah.
I get it, buddy. I get it. I'm trying to build a company here.
Yeah. Trying to live out my dream. Nobody's calling Mikey selfish.
Good move by Manfred today, didn't we think, Mikey?
Why don't you get some good PR out there for me, Mikey? Go on your show.
All right, Wheel of Fortune. Look, this is tough to take shots because I don't know if I could do the Wheel of Fortune thing. It's easy to say you can. It's easy to solve the puzzle from your living room.
Yeah.
It's easy to call the letters out when you're looking at somewhere, not under the lights and not on national television. I get it, but this has to be the biggest Wheel of Fortune failure of all time. This yesterday was the presentation. If you're watching on our YouTube station, and right now this is coming from Clay Travis, I believe. Clay Travis's Twitter account that we were taking this from.
Thank you, Clay.
Do we have any audio here?
I will say this is an old saying, though. I don't know how old the person is, but
Okay, Ken,
like
we appreciate
Noah,
it. That's the mother in
would
you.
you know?
Yeah.
Have you heard that saying?
This guy.
But not for sure, right?
This guy's funny too. So what would you say that says? In what?
But what? See,
Okay.
it's very old
Okay,
saying.
but
I don't even know where it came from.
You just gave the 18-year-old 2 shots, and even after his first one, he was like cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's that's a good prince. That's a good governor there. Okay, do we have any?
They have audio. We
They
do
have
not.
audio.
Yes.
Okay. My
You're so mad.
Wait, so is this the lady?
This- yeah,
her
Here's the
standing
culprit.
over?
Yeah, I
yeah,
need to see her. Haven't seen her.
Is that still Vanna?
that's still
Okay,
Vanna.
that's still Vanna. And you get an up close shot
Do
at
you
her.
really think
still
it
looks
is?
the same. Yes,
I think
it is.
I think
It's
they.
ridiculous.
I think they made maybe a
Yeah,
point.
yeah, double.
I think they have a couple Vannas in rotation.
No,
Look,
it's
this is
her.
her. Look, this is her. Look how nervous she is.
She is
Look,
nervous.
look. Pat was even like, "Do you want to spin?" And she's like, I'm gonna have to spin. You sure you don't want to solve it?
She'd rather go bankrupt at
Look.
this point.
She's like,
When you're not sure.
a P. Okay, we're good here. Another.
Yeah, that should
I
solve
don't know, y'all.
You know what she says here?
map.
Yes.
She does say
Wow.
Oh. What would you? I guess like a
Look
quill.
at Vanna. Look at Vanna. Oh,
Pretty good. Pretty good. Good job.
wow, with
Bankrupt.
This is the best part.
That is the
bankrupt.
best part.
This guy actually, if you go back to the front of the clip, this guy actually ends up getting it. The clip's over now. But if you go back to the beginning of the clip, the second guy in line is the funniest part because after she gets the wrong choice in the first one, I believe she says like hat or map or lap or whatever she says.
Lap.
They go to him and he spins and gets like 750 and he's like, G.
Get me out of here too.
Like, what? So it's not another feather in the gap?
Okay, wait. The phrase was first used in 1599. So,
Okay.
I mean, that's old. But
So it's been
also,
around for a long time and it's
it's
still here in
Yankee Doodle.
2022.
But they used to wear feathers in their hats.
Cat.
I
in their
know,
caps.
but people don't really know
Where does the
that.
phrase come from?
It says it was, first of all, it was in Yankee Doodle, and I just realized that. He stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. Remember?
I've never seen
Oh,
Yankee
is that where
Doodle.
the saying
No,
comes
the
from?
song. What do you mean you've never seen Yankee Doodle? You've heard that as a
Never-
kid.
I've
Yes, you
never
have.
Yankee Doodle
heard that.
Dandy?
Yes.
That's all. That's the only words I know to it.
Right.
You're
I did not
scaring
know
me.
what you
Yeah,
just
I
said.
don't know.
I would
It's
have a
scaring
weird
me.
childhood. I mean, what do you want from me?
It was
Linda
it
Cohn
was
was my mother.
it was an ancient custom among Hungarians that you put a feather in your cap if you killed a Turk. So I mean, who knows
Oh,
that?
yeah,
Wow.
I think I'd heard that. It's
You
like
have
collect-
not.
It's like well, yes, no, they used to collect scalps.
Oh, killing a Turk.
Yeah.
Yes, now I know.
What are they, Russian?
Feather in the
Yeah,
cap.
uh-oh.
Hey,
Goes to
hey.
Kiev. Got a lot of feathers in
Kiev.
his cap.
Yeah, this is a really
they weren't
old
ready.
thing. You
got a
can't
feather in his
blame
map.
her.
No doubt.
And there is a version of it
A
that
D,
says
please.
feather in the hat. So, Noah, you would have been right too. So we can't be too hard on Laura.
I don't know.
I think it was kind of easy once the P went up there.
Once the
The
P
lights
went
got
up there.
bright.
Bye-bye.
Once the P went up there.
That guy would rather have gone bankrupt than had to go again.
No doubt.
He was just like, I'll take that. Fine, perfect.
Absolutely.
Back to you,
embarrassing,
Lori.
right?
We can skip your turn, or you know what? Just
I'm
skip,
out.
Pat.
Yeah,
I'll,
just let it
next
go.
puzzle, I'll jump back in.
And Pat, have you ever heard about Levitard? He is hilarious.
He is a great-
So I'm
he's
sure
great.
he was
Funny.
over there
Well,
just
I mean, people, the first time you realize how much money
Oh.
those hosts make Bob Barker was me the first time I was like, when they were trying
Bob Barker.
when they were trying to replace Barker when he stepped down, and they were talking about people that were going to take his spot, and they were talking about the price tag connected to the job. I was like, I was like, hang on, like, Price is Right makes this amount of money, and they're like, no, that's what they pay Bob Barker. I'm like, say what? And then like come to find out, Alex Trebek, rest in peace, God rest his soul, but like Pat Sajak. Like these people
Drew
on these
Carey.
Drew Carey now.
Dan Patrick missed.
Dan Patrick missed out, and Patrick's also one of his biggest regrets in the business is like he didn't understand that these people were like, well, I mean, you're a syndicated television host, which I mean, TV when you go syndication, bro, that's lottery money. I mean, that's bring friends back for a reunion and you have to pay them $11 million a head.
And it's the I mean, if you want to tie it into sports, it's why baseball makes so much money. It's basically syndicated
exactly.
programming because
That's all
it's
it
on
is.
every day.
Well, that's who pays
yeah.
the contracts is really the TV deals. They're the ones that pays the exorbitant amount of monies that you know Major League Baseball makes. So I mean, the amount of money that Sajak has.
That's why I still
the
do
amount
it.
of money. Yes, and he looks the same.
They do.
Yeah,
it.
He looks like 1985. I mean,
Boy,
it's,
they
it's
do.
these rich
Oh,
people,
they do.
bro.
I agree, but
Yeah.
I don't
It's
think
the rich. It's the law of the rich. You know when somebody gets on money because their look changes. Bezos, Saban.
When somebody gets on money.
When when they get their money right, like Kanye said, wait till I get my money right. When I get my money right, usually the first thing they do is they go to the plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Do
like,
it all.
make me look 20 years younger, and they do it.
I think
And for Sajak and Vanna, they've just had the money coming in the entire time, and they just said, keep me looking like I'm 30.
I think there's just like a closet full of Vanna Whites. It's
No
just
way,
like
bro.
Picking
Only
the
one.
next one.
She's
you know,
cloned.
Those
Only
rotating closets, they just
Yeah.
have
It is
another one.
weird, right?
Another Vanna. We could probably go back 20 more years if we want. She the old model. Vanna 1.0. It's probably somewhere in there.
Brandon Hollingsworth, look up how much Judge Judy makes. It's
I
absurd.
bet. Is Bob Barker dead?
No.
No,
He's still alive?
Oh yeah.
Are y'all for real? Do y'all know that?
I don't want to kill Bob. I don't think Bob's dead.
How old do you think he is?
Oh my
90.
God. I don't know.
Judge Judy's net worth is $460 million.
What?
What? Bob Barker is 98.
98.
98. His
Still
net
alive?
worth is 70 million.
What, he
Rich.
Blew through his money.
Rich.
70 million. His
That's
salary
Judge
was 10
Judy.
million a year.
Who?
Bob Barker.
Still?
It was.
He's not doing it anymore. I'm about to show you why.
His net worth is 70 million.
Relax.
The richest game show host is Merv Griffin at 1 billion.
Merv.
Yeah.
And Merv was doing it like in the 70s.
Yes.
Is he alive?
He was born in 25. Yeah, I
Bob.
think he's alive, right?
Bob doesn't look
At
terrible.
97,
Oh,
Lloyd?
Bob.
98.
98?
Looks good.
He's got a great smile and a
Yeah.
turtleneck.
Yeah.
He does.
Bring back the turtleneck.
Bob.
That
Cover up the turkey
turtleneck
neck.
jacket are also
Barker's
from
Beauties.
the 80s.
Oh yeah, he smells like mothballs. And
Yeah, he
does.
does.
Absolutely.
He has the same
Not your fault,
clothes.
Bob.
Bob.
Own the scent.
Yeah.
You should cologne
Bob,
it.
you stink.
Bottle it. Sex Panther.
I thought he was dead.
This smells like straight gasoline.
He's not. He's got too much money.
Yeah, to be dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is
Like,
true.
keep me alive.
They had to stay alive.
Bob.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you play 18 today?
Yeah.
Maybe, Bob.
Good for Bob.
It cost you 300,000.
Dude, Adam Sandler might be able to get his swings in now. This would be his chance for
Yeah.
the rematch.
It would be. The price is wrong, bitch.
Bitch.
All right, remember City Cafe for lunch today, citycafebr.net. Always lunch specials, and the brunch opens up at 10 o'clock on Sundays.
Speaking of the Bandy
citycafebr.net. Great oysters, great char-grilled oysters, and a great place to watch the game. If you're looking for a place to post up and watch LSU basketball tonight, get over to City Cafe, as they've always got the games on over there, citycafebr.net. 100 years in business, lunch specials every day, located on O'Neill and George O'Neill. Stop in and see Squeaky, Dirk, Cody Miranda, the entire crew over there for City Cafe, citycafebr.net. All right, who's got mailbag questions?
Brian Burgess has a mailbag question.
All right, let's get to them. We're going to answer your mailbag questions. Stewie, you've chased them all down here. Hashtag mailbag. We will ask your mailbag questions and get them answered here. What we got, Stewie?
Brian Burgess, what game show would you most want to be a contestant on?
Price is Right.
Wow, that's a great question.
Price is
What
Right,
game
though.
show? Yeah, which one's the easiest? The Price is Right?
I don't know, easy. I don't know if any of them
I
are
don't think
easy.
any of them are easy.
I mean,
you probably have to study to get
It's
on.
easy to watch them from your living room.
Yeah.
It's easy to say you want to be there. When they Jordy Culotta, come on down. You're the next contestant. I'm like, holy shit.
There's people here.
Like, can we play Plinko for sure, right? Like, that's the only game I know I can do here. Because I mean, you're gonna put me on a math equation. You're gonna ask me to give pricing.
We don't do math equations on game shows.
Cameras rolling, Culotta.
Which one costs this much? Which one costs that
that's
much?
true.
I mean, I'd be like,
Same.
I just want the car, Drew. You know what I mean? Like, get me out of here.
One? I don't know.
I don't know.
Is that how we play? I don't know how to play. I don't want this anymore.
I definitely don't want to go on Jeopardy.
No.
I definitely want to go
But
on.
if you did,
I mean, the
go on
Wheel of
Jeopardy,
Fortune would be the funnest one to conquer.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And
Like, I would be nervous going in. I would think that there would be a chance that I'm gonna be able to do this. But I could also fall. I could also look like the chick who couldn't get another feather in the cap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
lowest reward, but also biggest chance to embarrass yourself. Jeopardy, you can just sit there quietly.
Absolutely.
It's
I'm not supposed to be
I
here.
don't feel good.
I'm not supposed to be
Yeah,
here.
my
I'm a
tummy
podcast
hurts.
host, for God's sakes.
But Jeopardy, if there's like a silver lining, if you wanted to do Jeopardy, all you would have to do is hope to God there's a sports category and you clean up because they don't know a thing.
Absolutely.
Like they can't do anything, and they all look at each other like that's the boogeyman for them. It's like they see the
Super Bowl history for 1,000, Alex.
Y'all just sit down. I got this one. Yeah.
That's right.
Then you don't say anything for the rest of the show.
No doubt. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Do I get to keep this money that I've racked up in sports?
Can I keep the remote? Yeah. Sorry, you cannot. Mailbag question. What's next, Stewie? Jeez. Sorry.
Not much coming in.
No. I've seen them up top. Hashtag mailbag. We just got to scroll. We got to scroll here. I got one here. Hashtag mailbag. Stephen Miller. Higher, lower seed 7 for LSU men's basketball team. I think they're a 7 or higher, Stephen. I think if they can win tonight, that would be enormous. The game versus Alabama on Saturday would be a nice win, from the selection committee. Today would be huge. And then a showing in the SEC tournament. If they can get to the finals like they did last year, they could definitely be higher than a 7. But for what they are, where they're at right now, and if they just kind of stayed stagnant, if they, lost tonight, won Saturday, won a game in the SEC tournament, then was bounced, I think that they're a 7 or higher. I think they have an opportunity to get to a little bit higher seed line there, but I would expect 7 to 9 kind of being the number that we're looking at.
What game show? Game show would each of the crew want to host? A lot of game show questions.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fire away,
Want to
boys.
host or participate?
Host.
I want to host.
Oh,
I think Jeopardy's the play here.
Jeopardy is, but you have to pretend like you have so much knowledge.
I know.
Thank
That's what I'm
you.
saying.
Does
Like,
he-
script this thing out for me.
Does he?
Yeah.
Does he have that in the bag? Like a lot of
Imagine
people,
Trebek probably did
that's
just
what
by
I'm- that's-
hosting. I mean, it's a routine. We're doing this every day. You put me around it every day, I'll start to see some of the signs. Okay, I know what we're doing here. I can kind of start to read up and Google on some of the things where I can at least fake it during this, that I look
because he does like
smart.
the pronunciations. And
I
everything.
kind of thought that Aaron Rodgers, to a degree, was you could kind of tell he was a little. It wasn't natural.
Oh, see, I would say he's a big studier. Like he said he prepared like diligently for that and took it as seriously as you can, and he has a photographic memory.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, and so he won
Those
Celebrity
guys.
Jeopardy whenever he was a contestant.
he did. I guess you do if you have a photographic memory.
Yeah, it's
Damn
probably
it.
very easy.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite of that.
I know.
Katie's like, damn it.
Sucks. I mean, I want
happened
that.
yesterday?
Like, why don't we all have that?
I have early onset Alzheimer's. It's like the opposite of whatever smart people have. Not for me.
You smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah,
Lloyd.
Yeah,
that's
well,
what
I thought sometimes it helps.
That's all that is.
I don't know if the
remember
Alzheimer's is the
everything from
correct
Batman.
diagnosis.
I think mine would be Family Feud. I would like to host.
Oh,
Family
great
Feud.
It
call.
would be fun to host, right? Yeah.
Would you go on Big Brother?
I don't know what that is.
Would you go on The Amazing Race?
I've never watched it. I'm not a big game show person.
Are those game shows?
Yeah,
Does
are
that
those?
count?
I mean, if you win,
I thought those
you
were
win
like
if you make it through.
reality.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You
a
know?
real game show.
I'd say that's
I don't know
reality.
if that's a
television.
real game show, but I
would-
mean, we're on a show, and if we're the last people standing, we get a prize.
Yeah, I never watched those.
I would love to go on Big Brother or anything
Really?
like that. I
You'd
just
freak people out. You'd have a
Yeah.
big fan base. You'd be
thank you.
popular.
Yeah, you'd be a fan favorite.
You would be a fan favorite.
yeah, I think I would get kicked out.
Would you
though.
ever go on Survivor?
No chance.
No
What about
chance.
Naked and
Naked and
Afraid?
Afraid,
way.
yeah.
Yeah.
No?
You would do it.
as soon as they drop me
I
off,
do it. I would.
No
I
way,
would.
dude.
I'd do it.
No way.
You wouldn't do
Really?
Naked and Afraid? No, I feel like you'd be
You get
a
to have that
guy.
bag in front of you.
No, now's the time for you to do Naked and Afraid.
Yeah, bro. Like
I
this
mean,
would
I
be
might even
perfect.
have to sleep
time.
here at night. Somebody might call in and be like, I'm coming to pick him up. I'm sleeping next to that body tonight. All right, cool. Get me the hell out of here. For God's sakes. Naked and Afraid would exploit me.
Oh wow.
It was-
You know what I mean? I would be crying within
Oh,
the first 30
yeah.
minutes. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it would totally
I thought you're like bad butt or
put
something.
me on the
Pretty
island.
humble,
I wouldn't
yeah.
care about that.
I think
You know
that's
what
the
I mean?
best
Like,
part of that show, though.
Get me,
Like,
absolutely.
because there's
I would
people
be
on there.
great for that show because I'm the content that they're looking for.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it. I'm
You know
in the
what I
same
mean?
boat. Like,
Like-
same thing for Survivor. Like, you don't. This is fucking miserable. Like,
Absolutely.
Mosquitoes everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude.
well, at
this
least
is
you have
not-
clothes on or
Yeah.
something,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, but I'm saying
Here's a
idiots-
spear and a tank top. Figure it out. You know what I mean?
You want to
Like,
watch a man die?
what?
Why do you want to do that too? What are you trying to prove? That's what
Seriously,
I always
that's the
wonder.
part
Trying
that
to
gets
prove
me.
that like
I
they
can
can
survive.
survive.
But
Yeah.
why you're
Yeah, I
not
don't
going
need
to
to
need
know.
to naked
No, I
with
don't
just
need
a
to know.
I
bag.
already know that I can't.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's
Right.
no
Put me in the middle of the
going
city.
To need that.
Right. See, in the
Yeah.
middle of the city, I would survive. I would find a way.
Yes.
But on my
Yeah, I would hope so.
well, no, but if
Jesus.
you just drop me in a city with nothing, like I could figure my way.
Well,
I could
yeah.
live for a while.
Have y'all
course.
seen the Naked and Afraid when they dropped them in Louisiana in the swamp?
Yes, I saw that one.
Coach,
Like, that makes
Coach.
The show was on it.
no,
Oh.
Coach, they
That
were
would
going
be
through it.
amazing.
freaking out.
Alligators everywhere,
Yeah,
Dude.
bugs.
snakes
I mean,
everywhere.
I'm a South Louisiana native, and I don't want
I don't want
any
no
part,
part
of
of
that.
that.
You don't
stuff,
want your dick
bruh.
out around a snake.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing. Nothing.
Nature's condom.
I don't want my toes out around a snake. You know what I mean? Nature's condom.
Have you ever
I'm gonna need a black mamba.
had a condom, baby? Oh my god.
Fear Factor.
Oh.
Fear Factor used to be my show. I think I'd do it.
You do it?
I'd do it.
Would you eat a centipede?
Fuck, I don't know. When they got to that, I'm out.
That would be
Because
hard.
that's the hardest part of Fear Factor 100% is the eating stuff.
No doubt.
Yes.
Or like when they like pour the like roaches on them,
Yeah, yeah.
Spiders for me.
crawling all over
Dude,
you.
if you want
Yeah.
to, like they'll put, if they're pouring it on, like pouring roaches on you, just gobble one up. And they're like, this guy's gonna fucking win.
Yeah, you would.
Wow, this guy's a gamer.
That's a nut.
Good Lord.
You
There's
gotta
no
intimidate
way.
all the rest of the cockroaches.
Like the water's like rising. Like
Oh yeah, that's scary.
Oh yes. You see, I'd probably panic
But
and
they're
drown.
not gonna let you die right there.
I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
but still,
Good
yeah.
content.
Like, the
You
thought
signed
of
off.
it
You
would
signed a
be
waiver.
hard,
Hey, Joe Rogan's the guy on top.
I don't,
But at least you know.
I
Like
don't
I'm
know,
not
man. I
gonna
don't know if
die
they're
in
gonna make
this
it
water.
good. This is good.
Put Joe Rogan
We need
back on
clicks.
back on Fear Factor as a contestant, but you
I
have to get
forgot
the
he was
vaccine.
I forgot he was the host of that.
What a career trajectory.
I didn't know he
dude.
was the host of it either.
Oh, he was.
And the early Fear
He
Factors
was.
are
Oh, really?
wild.
They are
Yes.
wild.
They're like making people
Really?
jump off buildings.
Absolutely.
Like,
Drive
yes.
this car off the bridge.
And people were getting hurt. Like it was
they really
not.
were?
Yeah, it was not nearly as like put together. They're like, this is a good idea, and they just kind of rolled the ball out there, and it was not safe. They're jumping off of 18-wheelers onto
I
18-wheelers.
would do
Yeah.
stuff like that though.
Yeah.
If a spider came out, that's what I'm done.
Pour some scorpions on this dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's
I'm
what
done
it is
with a
for me. The
spider.
eating and the bugs,
Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, I'll do it. But one spider and I'm out.
especially if you have Family Feud on the other line. Like I'm just gonna go do that one.
Right. Yeah. Now you just go to Wheel of Fortune, right? I mean, I guess I'll do the feather in the hat, feather in the map thing. I'm good. Forget it. JP Mailbag, hashtag Mailbag. This is a basketball one. If this team had Cam Thomas, would they be a contender all year to win? Yes, they need a scorer. I mean, if they had Ace Wolf, they had Adam Miller, they'd be a different team. You took 23 points out of the lineup a night when you lost Adam Miller. Forget the 28 that Cam was giving you last year. Cam would be a hell of a luxury on this team if he was here and being able to score and fill it up like he, just has the knack for doing. But even Adam Miller is he's a natural scorer. Guy rolls out of bed, gets you 20 points. I mean, how many scenarios and instances can you think that LSU could have used that along the way this season? Remember that 9-minute drought they went in and on versus Arkansas the first time they played them? I mean, that's where you have to have somebody like Cam or Adam Miller that just says, give me the ball, get out of the way, and let me go to work. Let me score. That's what scorers do. They don't have that natural scoring mentality killer type on this team. Xavier Pinson started to knock down shots. He had 28 versus Kentucky. That's a very bright spot. If he can get you 18 to 22 a night, that'd be awesome. But, I mean, when you can count on a guy like Miller who give you 23 a night, Cam that could give you 26 to 28 a night, and then you just pluck that out of the lineup, it vanishes, gone. I mean, that's tough to replace. And, yes, I believe, JP, if Cam was on this team, they'd be a totally different team. I believe if Adam Miller was on this team, they'd be a really different team. Just because you have the ability in half-court sets that when stuff breaks down and the ball gets stuck and nobody can find an open shot, give it to your scorer and just figure it out. Now, that's not the offense you want to run. That's not the strategy you want to fall back on. But that at times has looked like what LSU has been plagued by, is that they've just not been able to look at somebody and say, man, bail us out, score us a basket, get to the rim, get to the free throw line. Whatever it may be, that's what they are missing on this team. And, it looks like hopefully somebody could step it up, and maybe take that on. But you had that in Miller. That's what Cam Thomas is. So, yes, to answer your question, I think that they're a significantly better team with a scorer, on the squad. So
Lots of more. Lots of game shows that we missed. Guts, American Gladiator, and Double
American
Dare.
Gladiator.
Ooh, Double Dare, I'd do that
All
in
of
a
those would be
second.
so much fun.
Was that
Yes.
Nickelodeon?
Yeah, Slime.
Slime.
Pros versus Joes.
I put that in there.
That
was
was
my-
a good
that was
one.
my
That was a
show.
good one.
Would you have gone on that?
I would have gone on that for sure. I was way too arrogant back in the day not to have gone on it, but I probably would have been embarrassed.
Yeah, I don't know that
Oh,
show.
yeah, I mean,
You've
with
never
all the
seen
guys that
Pros?
went in there that were like cocky, are like, do you realize
Yeah,
that
you
I'm a
don't-
professional?
Well,
I was.
I think that was kind of like some of the storylines that began to start. Remember when people were like, that college team could beat the Bengals, and people were like, bro, no, Alabama can beat the Texans. No, they cannot. A professional athlete compared to an amateur athlete, the drop off of the cliff is legions. I mean, like, it is miles. And for anybody to think that they can go out there, run, catch, make a play versus a professional athlete on their worst day, the professional athlete's worst day compared to your best day, is dreaming. And I've seen a lot of good amateur athletes. I mean, Ancient Athletes has some dogs in it back when I was in it. Like, they had some people that played pro ball that came from professional athletics that would even tell you now, if I went out there, I would embarrass myself.
That was a
And
sports show, a sports game
yeah, it was
show?
Pros versus Joes.
I've never heard of it.
Blake Abear, Jordy needs to
Old
do
school.
American Ninja Warrior. That is a crazy
Yeah.
game show. Little Jay
That
loves
is.
that one. He wants to get into that type of stuff. That's the type
Yeah,
of
that's a
stuff,
cool
bro.
one.
I mean, you make it through all of that. You make it all the way through that thing. You're a dog.
You a
No,
dog.
You are
have
a
to have
dog.
upper body strength that's unlike anyone else.
What's the hardest part of that? The swinging,
Yes, the upper body
all
strength.
of it.
where you're
that.
hanging on and swinging from
Yes.
iron to iron, and the part of the obstacle course that is in, it's like 3/4 of the way through. By that time, you're gassed.
I cannot even imagine.
I love the people that fall on the first part, like that jump when you jump over the water. They're like, like,
Full of meat.
all right, Cole, 9 months of training didn't work out, huh, buddy? Back to the drawing board.
A live audience is there to watch
Get
your
my
family.
taxes in on time, you fucking nerd.
You thought you could do this?
Right.
That's sad.
But those people train for that. Like people,
No doubt
Yeah, you
about
have
it.
Like
to.
when they do like the contestants, they'll show their home and they have
Yes.
built an American
Yes.
American Gladiator, American
Ninja.
Ninja
Yeah.
Warrior in the back of their yard.
We have to.
I guess.
I mean, that's
what do you get
crazy
for that? Do you
strength.
win anything?
Money.
Money?
Isn't it money?
$10,000.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like,
To give up
I
your
mean,
life for however long you have to train.
congratulations, you're going to
Jeez.
surgery.
Yeah, yeah. You tore your rotator cuff.
Yeah,
It has-
you're done
dislocated
for
your
life.
ankle.
Game shows.
Anthony Archibald, Mailbag.
Archibald.
All right. Would y'all go on an episode of Jackass?
No.
Ooh, definitely.
Yeah, Lloyd, that's your
Lloyd.
lane.
Yeah,
That's your
Lloyd.
lane
Yeah,
for
man,
sure.
are you kidding me, dude? We'd have a blast.
Were you on Jackass?
Where are you?
How weren't you on
They
there?
do some stuff that is a bridge too far, though.
They do.
Like, I don't want I talk about snakes and they just they'll do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Like, And Johnny Knoxville's still out there doing it.
I know,
and he's
man.
45 years old.
Crazy.
Does
How's
he-
the
loves
guy
it.
alive?
Does he still mess with his dad a lot? Or
That was Bam.
That was the
Bam?
funniest.
Bam. Yes, that was the best.
That was the funniest. When they'd
Viva
go
La
in and
Bam?
wake him up in the middle of the
and
night.
Don Vito.
Ton Vito.
That is not one I would do. Lighting like a bottle rocket
Out of
like,
your
out
ass.
of my booty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not interested.
That's like 101 stuff. They do that.
I know.
Like,
That's
with
easy,
B-roll.
right?
Literally.
You do that outside right now. If I had a bottle
We're gonna
rocket.
shoot you out of a
July.
cannon for a promo.
Fix my hemorrhoids.
I'm in. Sign this waiver.
Well, we're good.
I saw a Lent one here.
It was kind of the question we were asking when the audio was all shitty. It was, what would you give up for Lent?
Yeah.
And then I think we should split it into the question we asked, what would be the hardest thing to give up for Lent if you were to do so? I just said, I put it on the community poll, and it was, what would be the hardest thing for you to give up for 40 days?
I want to give up social media,
Well, you can't.
but I can't. The show.
Well, you
what
can't.
if I keep the show?
No.
Then that's not giving up social media
I know,
because
it's
you'll
not.
sneak right on there
Yeah.
and start
I know.
looking at something
But it's
because
such
someone's
a
gonna be like,
waste
"Did you
of time."
see?"
Which
It
one?
is.
Instagram is the biggest waste of time.
Instagram is a waste of time.
It's all a
But
waste
it's
of time.
awesome.
It's the biggest waste of time. It can get awesome.
I don't even know what I like on Instagram.
I don't
think
either.
I just like scrolling.
I think that there is
Yeah.
some type of scientific addiction into what they have like put into this thing where
Yeah.
it's like I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Well, I'm not. Or sometimes I'll get on there, look for something
Yeah.
specific, and then just start. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I came here for a reason, and now I
not-
don't remember what it is.
now I'm down a loophole.
Yeah, now I'm just looking at Instagram.
Well, 'cause
And
you
I've got
get
like this
everything
steady
clicked.
like now sore thumb from like scanning on my phone.
I'm double jointed, so it'll never
You know
happen.
what I mean? Like
Ew, weird.
Thank you.
I just
can-
Comes in
See it.
handy all the time.
Does it?
No, maybe.
What's what? How handy?
who's asking?
How much?
Who's giving the review?
Who's told you that?
Social media to me would be like refreshing to give up almost.
And I think
Yeah,
it's
I
like
would.
you said. Once you stopped, I bet it would be you would have no interest in going
back.
I have a friend that stopped it and he hasn't used it.
Yeah. Well, I think the more you get away from it, the more you're like, this is pointless.
Yeah.
Like, what do I don't. I've always, to me, Instagram has always been attractive to me personally because outside of all the stuff that you see on Instagram,
TNA.
was that it would be like a scrapbook for
Yeah.
my kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's documented almost since he's like 10 months old,
Yeah.
a year old to where he is now. So, I mean, that has always been the part for me that it's like, man, it's so cool that he'll be able to reference this and go back to it and see, you know, like the days, the times, the comments around what was going on during that part of his life. So for that part of it, I never want to give it up because it's just a great way to digitally scrapbook your life. But the amount of time that you waste on social media, especially like being in like, we're running a business now. I mean, like now it feels like if you're not doing something in the day, you're kind of wasting time. You could be doing something else to benefit what we all have going on here. So,
Content.
I mean, you scroll through Instagram, and next thing you know, I mean, it's 20 minutes later, and you're like, "What the fuck? I don't even.
I didn't do
I
anything.
Get nothing out of this.
Well, you intake tons of information. though.
Brain mush."
I
Well,
mean,
on Instagram,
news,
yeah,
sports,
I mean,
like
there's
you gotta
caveats.
click on
See, to me,
there,
like
but-
that's Twitter.
Yeah,
Like
That
the one
too.
that we cannot, like the one that I would not be able to give up, would be Twitter.
Oh God, I could give
Work-wise.
that up in a heartbeat.
like you would.
But just
I
from a
think-
work standpoint,
Yeah, like
just
that's
from
where
a,
I
Yeah,
get
for
news.
that.
a professional standpoint, like what?
It's too much to scroll through Twitter for me though. Just to start scrolling, like Instagram works better for me. Twitter, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Well, it's just a new age newspaper.
It never ends.
You know, I mean, it's like it's a 2022 edition of the newspaper.
It is. Facebook can.
I'm
suck
off
it.
of Facebook. I can't.
I don't
I'm,
even
I'm
have
done.
Facebook.
I mean, I quit
Yeah,
Facebook, I think, in
Facebook
like
can suck it.
2007. I think I had it for a year. Like, no, I wish it would go away. It's horrible.
It is.
Never
Just
going away.
nothing
I
but
agree.
misinformation.
The metaverse is
and
here.
It's awful. Awful.
I'm the big boy. Big baby race.
I mean, technology is so scary though.
Yeah, it is.
In like the sense of like how fast it changes. And when I was reading, like we're getting to a point now with the new thing with technology is the face identification. Like that's kind of like the big push right now. And they say in the next 3 years, you can be sitting at a restaurant, a library, a bookstore, wherever you are, eating, a coffee shop. and I'm sitting next to Katie. I don't know Katie, right? Zoom out, get the 2-shot here. I don't know Katie, but I just point my phone in Katie's direction, and it picks up her face and recognizes who she is, and it sends me to all of her stuff. It sends me to her LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook or wherever she is.
Perfect for murderers.
Is that unbelievable?
I guess.
Is that
I don't
unreal?
know.
Have you
I'm
seen
here
this?
for it.
Have you seen this AirDrop thing that that Apple has invented?
It's new
Not
fancy.
AirDrop. Not AirDrop. Where
That
you
was
turn-
brutal.
You're
It's
talking
this little
about the
chip.
AirTag.
Oh, the
AirTag.
AirTag, yeah.
That
The
was brutal for a
AirTag
second.
chip.
That was.
I mean, I think it was Chip. I think it was Chip.
It's an AirTag. I have one actually.
Tag.
What does it do?
Well, have you
tracks
seen-
you.
have
It
you- it's a
tracks
tracking
you,
device.
but you don't.
It's a
know-
tracking
but it
device, and it's like
tells you,
it's like
though.
this big. It's like this big.
You put it in
And it's
your
like
skin?
it looks like a keychain.
No, you put it in
Looks
your
like a
bag
keychain.
or whatever. You need it
And
for your keys.
it's
Oh, a tile?
it's all over like
It's
big
like a
cities.
tile.
It's like all over big cities now. And I was reading something in a technology based blog where they were talking about this, kind of the formation and the development of technology in our world. And the AirTag, what's it called?
AirTag.
AirTag is like the biggest, like that's the big buzz right now because a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model went to a Super Bowl party in New York City, got home, takes off her jacket, throws it on her bed, and this thing falls out of her pocket.
It was Brooks Nader.
Like somebody was
Here.
like somebody was trying to track her, right? Like follow her back to and that has like brought to light just like what's the
But
use?
you can't
What's
track
the value?
somebody with an AirTag. Like if you put an AirTag in my bag, it pops up on my phone that there's a new device following me. So it's actually impossible to do
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I mean, so that was scary
Okay.
for a minute, and I did read Brooks' story on that, but it's not like it tells you have a device following you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mark
look.
Cumby, AirTag is good for pets and kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can put it on your wallet, I imagine.
I've seen somebody
Yeah.
say it's good for like luggage.
Keys.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
whenever you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
they
need it
just
for
they
your
just did an
keys.
Apple tile. That's what they always do. They
Yeah.
see an idea and they take it. They put that
Yeah.
Apple logo on there, charge you $40 more, and everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Right.
It's unbelievable. What a
Great
game
business
they're
model.
running. Well, yeah, you can only use Apple stuff with Apple. Then they invented
Right.
barely
Well,
changed
and
the
then,
plug.
and then they'll change
Oh,
they'll change the charger.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The headphone jacks you have to buy them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make the AirPods. That's right. And then the battery life thing.
Oh yeah, they did that to me too. Suck me down.
Suck your
So that
battery
you
life
get a
when it's
new
time to
phone.
do
Suck
it.
you down,
But,
huh?
yeah.
Suck you right in.
But I
This
fought the
iPhone
good
13.
fight. Apple was part of that class action lawsuit.
Did you
That
jump
they
in?
made him sign it. Yeah, because it pissed
You
me
did?
off. Yeah, look how old this phone is. I'm not kidding. I've got
they're
iPhone
like,
6.
aren't they about to like
That's a
disable
6?
those?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're coming for me. But I'll
Oh,
die with
shit,
that thing in
Lord.
my hand.
Why don't you just go upgrade it?
Because I don't like the size of them. It's too
They make a, new,
There's
cumbersome.
like
they make a
yeah,
mini
there's like a-
version of the new
I've
one.
got plenty
See,
of
I
excuses.
have like an 11, and
Yeah.
this is a decent size.
Yeah. I
You
don't
can
know.
do it.
Not too
Lloyd.
much.
I don't. and I
Rico
don't-
Delgado, as our boy Hemorrhoid Lloyd, told any stories about the toilet today.
No toilets today.
What happened?
don't
What did
know.
I miss?
I just said I had hemorrhoids with the bottle.
Oh,
But
you
that's what
did.
you do to them, right? Don't you lance them
The
off?
bottle rocket
Yeah.
with a bottle rocket.
No, with like heat and a knife. It can't be
I
a bottle
guess.
rocket.
Brandon Lejeune, Brad Lejeune, everyone must be hungover on this show based on the audio at the beginning.
Yeah. No, that was. What is?
That
What's
was
the
us
saying
trying-
about progress?
Yeah. We
There's
were
some
trying to make
saying.
progress. And
Yeah.
it
1%
wasn't
better
there
every
yet.
day.
Something like that. Feather in your hat.
Feather in your hat. Do sex.
I'll spin again.
So exactly, $30.
John Smithsonian, a world without the internet would be carefree to me.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Travis LeBlanc, I've wondered how great the world would be without internet.
It'd be terrible
Would it?
to me.
You don't remember
love
like,
it.
like
I
those
love
dial-up
progress.
internet days? Can't even get on the phone when you're on
Yeah.
the
Oh,
internet.
dial up, yeah. AOL. That's right.
Yeah.
Trying to get on AOL.
That's right. Yeah, I love all of this.
Trying to
I love
check my
new
email.
Apple devices. I love AirTags. I love the internet. I want it all.
This
Really?
is not
I
what
want
the
it-
internet
it's
was invented
evolution,
for.
baby.
No,
Right?
it's
It was
not.
just supposed to be like a
But
big
they had to know it was going to go
encyclopedia.
here.
Well, it's called
They had to
World
know.
Wide Web. Like, what
Right?
did
I mean, you
think,
had to
like,
know if
what
you were
did
going to start
think-
invading people's privacy,
They did that.
that there was never going to be.
You can't come back from the
You can't-
Facebook. Really, is what changed the whole game.
The face.
The
The
Facebook.
Well, that's what it was called.
Was it?
Trump,
The
the-
Facebook?
Yeah.
yeah.
Good movie.
Good movie.
It is a good
Underrated.
movie.
Underrated movie.
It was a good
I would
movie.
like for them to make another one about what he's like now, the Lizard Man.
Too much money.
Welcome
Suck
to
the
Facebook.
suck. But You talked about the like the Google Glass or whatever, like being able to ID people with your phone. They had that in Batman. It's a new little, it pops a little contact in and it scans everybody's face and it knows who, like if you didn't know them, it like pops up with your name, job title, and he's like, he's the DA of Gotham. He's like, I feel like Batman should know that already, but
Is it? Wow, we're in trouble.
yeah, Batman's not too plugged in today.
Was that your Batman impression? I like it.
Where's Rachel?
Do you notice that all the Batmans have like a raspy voice?
Yes,
Like
they do.
yeah. Like they always go to this
But
like
it's only
They
when they're
do.
in the
costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christian Bale was the one that I thought tried too hard.
Yeah,
Too hard.
he
With
he
the
put a little
raspiness.
emphasis on the Batman.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm Batman. Like, all right,
He was
bro.
the
We
hottest
get it.
Batman, that's for sure.
For sure.
Michael
Jeez.
Keaton.
American Psycho.
I loved Michael Keaton
Me too.
as Batman.
I thought he was a great Batman.
Oh, Clooney was Batman too.
I
Yeah,
thought
he was
that
all right.
Clooney
I know,
was
but you said
Batman.
hottest.
Val Kilmer.
Christian Bale hottest.
Val.
Val was good.
So you
was
think
good.
Christian Bale was the best one?
I think he was the hottest one.
the
I
hottest
don't think he
one.
was the best Batman.
Do you?
You yeah, the one with the Joker
Yeah.
is
They're so good.
that's primetime TV.
That's good,
but-
bro.
They're still chasing that ghost too.
Keaton and
Yeah.
Nicholson though are very underrated as the
Yeah.
Batman.
Oh yeah,
Joker
well yeah,
combo.
I know. But
Jack Nicholson was fantastic.
but that Heath Ledger is just
Yeah, Heath Ledger took it to a new level, and then
He did.
Joaquin Phoenix on the Joker
Yes.
movie. I was telling the story Kelly and I were talking about yesterday. The only movie I've ever seen during the day.
Ooh. Oh
Joker.
yeah, this is a weird. This is a
Yeah,
weird
that is
thing
weird.
that you did.
It was
I
a very
feel
weird
weird
thing.
about it.
It was very weird.
I
and
think
then
about that sometimes.
Wait, what'd you do?
I saw the movie Joker twice in the same week at the theater by myself
in the middle of the
in
day.
the middle of the day.
Yeah.
The
Like-
first one, I was going on a sales call
You
from
all right?
my last. I was at my former work spot, and I was going to a sales call in Walker. And as I'm like crossing over Millerville, the guy calls and has an emergency and has to reschedule and is gonna knock out. He can't do it. And I'm like,
Days wide open.
man, okay, well, if you're off the books, I ain't got shit to do today. And I look over and it's like 10:20, and I'm going past that theater on O'Neill, the AMC on O'Neill, and there's two cars in the lot. It's obviously like the ticket
people that
taker and the
work
guy
there.
serving the popcorn.
Two other weirdos.
Yeah, right. Well, no, those are the workers. They had to be there. And so, like, I just cut off the interstate. I'm going like 90 through the parking lot, like pull up to
Very Joker.
first spot. You know what I mean? Go in there. Next thing you know, I'm in places like quiet, eerie, weird. Go in there by myself, watch the Joker. I thought it was so good. I cried the first time I saw it.
Oh, really?
Just like there was a certain point where I didn't cry like boo hoo, but I was like, you know, the acting is so good. Like this is good stuff, man.
It's an emotion. It is an emotional.
It's like
an emotional
God, I
roller
can see how we
coaster.
got to this point.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Down on his luck.
And then I was like 2 days later, I was like, I got shit to do again. I'm going back.
But dude, we went to go see it last night. I won't say the theater, but it was like the IMAX, whatever. And
Why won't you say it?
because of what I'm about to say, I don't think they
Okay.
would care. But so we get there, and it's the only premiere that night. Like it's in the IMAX. The movie officially doesn't come out until March 4th, I think. But my buddy is like real into it. Shout out Hunter for giving me the ticket. It was like on February
Did you
8th,
go
you
by
could sign
yourself?
up. No, with like 6 people, like you do to a theater. Or a date.
Felt that shot.
I did. I sat in the handicap section.
This guy.
They got the best seats. But so we he signed up early on February to get these tickets. Place is packed, like full house for the Batman or whatever. It starts directly at 7. No trailers, no previews,
Really?
any of that.
Really?
It's just Batman on the screen with the countdown.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
And yeah, so it was very cool.
That
Like,
is
damn,
super
this
cool.
is awesome. And they have like the countdown clock, and so whenever it goes straight, it starts straight at 7. And whenever the clock runs out, they still have the lights kind of on like they would for like when you're walking into the theater. And they can't get the lights off in time when the movie starts. So everybody's like kind of murmuring a little bit because there's the first scene where it's dark and you're not supposed to be able to see what you're seeing. And everybody's like, what the hell? What the hell? So then they
blew
kill the
it.
lights, all of them. And it's like super dark and everybody's like, yeah! And then it was too dark for the people up there. So they paused the movie.
No.
And everybody's like, what the fuck? Like, I want my buddy back. Like, hold on.
Everybody chill.
And the movie's just paused, the lights are off, then the lights come all the way on, and
No
we're like, what is
way.
going on? And so somebody runs out the theater, runs up there, they restart the movie, kill the lights,
No.
but we saw the first 5 minutes again. And we were just like, hell yeah, free movie.
Wow.
And then it's 3 hours long. But it was a
They blew
chaos. Yeah, chaos.
They
The
blew
production
it.
in this place is terrible.
Yeah, if you think of my audio was bad.
Oh my god!
But I think it's because they have the lights timed up for trailers and stuff to be able to run, so they're on a schedule. And then now that they took all of that fluff out, they didn't really know what to do.
So,
But
do you think there's no trailers for this Batman movie?
no, I think it was just for this
a
premiere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just for
Yeah,
the
there would
premiere of
have
this,
to be,
yeah.
right?
yeah.
All
That's
right, make sure you hit
terrible.
that like button, share button, comment button. We appreciate you being here on this Wednesday. Hopefully everybody had a good, safe, happy Mardi Gras. Everybody celebrated the carnival down wherever you were. As today is the first day of Lent, Ash Wednesday.
We didn't finish talking about what we were giving up. I don't even think we got there.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
White
got-
House.
That was a mailbag
we
question.
went left on the social media stuff because
Oh, you did. You answered it.
I think I gave up enough of myself
we
yesterday.
can't we can't give up social media, right?
No,
But that
he
would be
can't.
what you. So you're not giving up social media.
He can't. He wants to, but can't. You could give up Instagram.
I could.
You could, and
You
then just
could.
take
I mean,
pictures.
Noah
and
does
you
it.
can
Yeah,
still
yeah.
take pictures and then just save them.
Noah and Jack do a great job of running. I mean,
Screen
the
share 'em.
show's account doesn't need me.
No, but there's time with it. Twitter.
Twitter, I
You
can't.
have to- you have to have,
I
but you
can't
could give
move.
up Instagram
I
if
can't
you
move.
wanted to.
Is Twitter truly social media?
Twitter's more like the news to me.
To me, it's more like the
It's
newswire.
social media.
Yeah, it's
Come
social
on.
media.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Because I've convinced
Come
myself
on.
that too. I'm not wasting my time when I'm on Twitter. I'm like, oh, I'm doing this for show content,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know if I really need to see Big Cat's nipples on the show. Like, I don't
did
think
go
that's
all
gonna
in.
happen.
I don't-
Did you
I don't
see
think-
that?
He went all in.
That
I
was
don't think I need to
awesome.
see
It
any
was awesome.
nipples doing show content,
Yeah?
but I do.
He painted his nipples as basketballs.
Basketballs, yeah. And put the coach's name on his belly.
Yes, with a bullseye on his belly button.
Did you see where he got the mic? They put him on stage after for the Wisconsin's trophy ceremony. They won the Big Ten regular season championship. Shirtless, and they give him a championship T-shirt.
No.
Look, I
and the
have it
coach is
pulled
like,
up.
"Do you want to talk?" And I guess we could probably run the audio. But he's like, he's shirtless, and the coach is like, "Do you want to talk?" He's like, "Give me a shirt." He's like, he feels very exposed out there. He's like, "Not right now." They give him a Big Ten championship shirt, and he's like, "Thanks for being here." And he gives Big Cat the microphone. And he looks around and goes, "This fucking rules!" Live and just into the microphone, and the coach snatched it back. He's like, "I don't know what I was thinking."
Yeah, my fault.
Yeah,
my
but it was
fault, my fault.
awesome.
He
It was
posted
on
a
Twitter?
stat line.
You posted it on Twitter?
He posted a stat line on Twitter. like,
Oh,
That's,
this?
that's social
Yeah.
media.
Yeah.
Twitter's social media.
Okay, all right.
I mean, Jesus gave
Enough
up
of your rules.
What did Jesus give up?
His life.
Besides that, for 40 days.
The greatest sacrifice of all.
40 days. What was it that guy gave
this
up?
guy, 600,
What did he do?
His life.
No, for 40 days, what did
He
he
didn't
do? Like,
eat or
no
drink food or
No,
water.
yeah, then he
Okay.
fasted.
Yeah, he
Okay,
fasted for
okay,
40
there you go.
days.
Yeah.
It's not true, but it's a
No,
great
he
story.
didn't
Okay,
do
Twitter's
that.
the social media mechanism. We get it. All
So
right. all right.
Jesus cannot eat or drink for 40 days, and you can't give up social media, is what we're saying.
I think Jesus
I'm not
is sneaking
judging.
snacks.
I'm not giving up anything. I'm not
You
giving up
can't
anything.
survive 40 days without food and water.
No way.
No way.
You
That's what
don't
I'm
think
saying.
so?
No
Jesus
way.
was really pushing the
He
narrative
was.
there.
I mean, Jesus,
get
we
it,
need
you're
to talk
the
about
Son
your
of
health code,
God.
buddy.
Yeah, yeah, health code.
Man, we need to get some food in you, man.
That's why he looks so good on the cross, though. He's very cut. He's a good little fast. I'm cutting.
Wow.
The Catholics in the city are about to burn this place down. They are about to burn
Slam it
us
on the-
down.
Where's their new studio at? New meaning for Ash Wednesday. I'm
Yeah.
burning that son of a bitch to the ground.
He's watching Joker alone.
Right? Fucking
We need
weirdo.
some ashes up in here.
Did you smudge it?
All right, did you see this Kirk Herbstreit news?
No.
You think so?
I don't know. I think more than anything, Amazon is reeling. Amazon now has swung and missed on a couple of their broadcast characters that they were going after. It looks like they swung and missed on McVay. McVay's about to get $20 million from the Rams. He got $20 million from the Rams. And as we said over the last couple of weeks, if there is one coach in the NFL that deserves to have the bank broken for, it is the 36-year-old Super Bowl winning, 2-time Super Bowl appearance, Sean McVay for the Los Angeles Rams. That's the guy that I'm paying. I'm breaking the bank. You're not going to Amazon. You're not going to Monday Night Football. You're not taking Aikman's job at Fox. You're a head football coach for the Rams. How much does it cost for you to be here? I want 20. Here's 21. That to me was an easy negotiation with McVay. He is no longer on the market as a television personality, which is happening, and all the negotiation is going on right now. Troy Aikman has landed on Monday Night Football. He is leaving Fox. He's going to be on ESPN's Monday Night Football. So ESPN is spending big money to bring Aikman, and I think the price tag was
what about Peyton and Eli?
$17 million. I think they're going to move Peyton and Eli behind a paywall. You're going to have to pay for that as well.
Okay.
ESPN Plus.
Well, I guess I'm getting ESPN Plus then.
But what happened was ESPN behind the scenes was saying, we're not going to have this model of we see what sells, right? It's the big names, and the NFL is also a broadcast partner of ESPN, and they are pretty much bullying ESPN. Not bullying, you're a partner, you're in partnership of saying, look, we need to start bringing name recognition type characters into the booth. This stuff is working with Nance and Romo. This stuff is working with Buck and Aikman. This stuff is working, with the Manning cast. People are tuning in at great numbers, and while it might not be just specifically for the talent on the broadcast, that seems to be something that people are paying attention to. So Amazon's getting into the mix. Amazon's got billions upon billions upon billion. There's no price tag that Amazon says is off the market, is off the discussion, off the table, right? So Sean McVay, Sean Payton, Troy Aikman, all these people were up for grabs this year. Al Michaels. And it looks like Amazon was going after McVay. McVay uses the television company, uses Amazon as leverage versus Stan Kroenke and the Los Angeles Rams. He gets the number he wants to coach football. He's secure. He's back in. Aikman takes $17 million reportedly from ESPN to call Monday Night Football now. That leaves Sean Payton staring at the Fox job to be on the A team, sitting alongside Joe Buck. There are reports out there that number could balloon anywhere from $15 to $19 million a season for Payton. Now Amazon is looking and saying, what are we going to do? Right? Aikman's at ESPN. Peyton looks like he's going to land at Fox. McVay's off the table. Who else is out there? Amazon's now making a play at Kirk Herbstreit, the lead college football analyst and the face of college football, really, for ESPN.
He can't leave game day.
Making $6 million a year for ESPN, reportedly, is his contract. Amazon is going to come to the table with a much more bloated number why not? Herbstreit's looking around. He's seeing the number that Aikman's getting at ESPN to call Monday Night Football. He's always said kind of behind the scenes he'd like to do more of the NFL coverage and calls for ESPN. They put him on a couple of NFL games over the last couple of years. I think they used him and Chris Fowler on some of the Saturday playoff games and Saturday regular season games that ESPN was broadcasting. He did it really good. I mean, he knows, obviously, the talent on the field with his coverage of college football, and Herbstreit is a name, a voice, a face that a lot of sports fans and football fans recognize. Amazon, as of the latest report, is putting together a package to go after Herbstreit to make him one of their lead NFL guys, and Amazon's talking about getting into the college football game in a couple of years.
That's what I was going to ask, yeah.
What do they offer him?
The number is not being discussed publicly, but by the terms of what is being kicked around in the industry right now, with Romo making 17, Aikman now making around that number, it looks like Sean Payton's going to demand that number with Fox. I'd imagine that it's going to be somewhere around there.
Yeah, ESPN's going to pay him.
No, ESPN's out. They already paid.
They're not
you're talking about
go.
Herbstreit.
Yeah, they're not going to let him go.
They can't double up and pay Aikman $20 million and pay Herbstreit, $15 to $20 million.
Why not?
Well, and there's rumors that they're going to bring Joe Buck and to bring the team back together.
At Monday Night Football?
He's on the last deal of his Fox contract, so they could buy him out, put the duo back together on Monday Night Football, and essentially that would be the perfect plan for them. That's what they've been trying to have, that duo, that cohesiveness that people seem to already enjoy. And if they put those two together, like Monday Night Football is back in their mind. Like, you don't have anything to complain about again.
They're
it's the
fine.
two best.
They can pay Kurt.
I would watch that.
And then it makes you wonder, if they do that, what are they going to do with the Manning cast? Because you don't want to. You're competing against yourself, essentially.
Sure. It is a good question. I think that's why you put it behind the paywall, because you make it a little bit more of a challenge to get to for your viewers, and that way you can see what that model looks like.
And use it to drive subscribers up, and then it's some money, a little quick cash grab, because people are going to sign up for it, probably not watch it as much.
But there's no doubt, as John Smithsonian says, that Amazon is shaking the game up. They are making people And I also think that this is the NFL too, right? I mean, I think this is the NFL strong-arming their broadcast partners in telling them, look, this is the appearance we want to put off now. We want some of our most recognizable names and faces in the booth alongside these 18 play callers, these 18 broadcast play-by-play callers, the Al Michaels, the Joe Bucks, the Kevin Harlans, the guys that we talk about, right? Al Michaels. So, I mean, the leverage now for coaches and some of these former players, and look, it is a very selective population. This is not for everybody. I mean, Brian Greasy played a lot of years in the NFL. Played pretty good football. They don't want anything to do with him. They don't want anything to do with those types of characters. He did good for, he comes from a football family. He's got football lineage. He went to Michigan. He played in the league for a while. He's got a name. He means nothing on a broadcast. They want Aikman. They want Peyton. They want McVay. They want the heavy hitters. And to get these guys, you got to pay them. And you got to pay them double of what they were making when they were playing. Romo was making $8 million a year to be the Cowboys quarterback. He's making $17 million a year to call games on CBS. I don't even know what Aikman was making back in the 90s to play football, but it wasn't $17 million a year. Sean Payton was one of the highest paid coaches in the league last season, making $9 million a year. They're throwing around numbers like $15, $16, $17 million a year to call games on TV. Sean McVay gave serious consideration or just leveraged the ever-living hell out of a job that he's never done. He's got no experience in. He's never called a game on TV in his life, and Amazon wanted to pay him $20 million to do it.
That's nuts.
The game has totally changed. And the pressure that it's putting on these TV executives and putting on these personalities is fascinating to watch. Herb Street's definitely listening. He's definitely paying attention. And if the number gets to a point where ESPN has to say, we can't compete with
What
Bezos.
point would that be, though?
So if he leaves,
There is a point.
I think
if
he's
he
using his
leaves
leverage.
ESPN for Amazon, do they let him do college too, or is it just NFL?
I would imagine that Amazon would get into the college game if we've got Kirk Herbstreit on the payroll. We've got the most recognizable face in the sport. Right? I mean, and look how lucrative college football is.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't Amazon get into the SEC and say, give us a game? We'll do a Thursday night game. We'll do a Thursday night NFL game, and we'll do a Thursday night SEC game. And we'll show it all on Amazon's properties. And we'll pay what? Tell me.
Blank check.
Yeah, because we're good on this end.
Yeah, right. We're
blank
good.
check.
And Kirk Herbstreit's going to call the game. You going to pay attention? Yeah.
Yeah.
I will. I mean, if Herbstreit's in Tuscaloosa on a Thursday night calling Oklahoma and Alabama, I'm in. You know what I mean? I'm in.
I mean, I'd watch it with nobody in the booth.
No.
Like an early season game, just like put him on a Thursday.
Well, that'll be a different conversation because he's not going to go watch bad football.
No,
he's
right,
like,
that's what I'm
I have the
saying.
primo job in college football. I get to go where the best game of the week is every week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes me wonder.
On Amazon's PJ.
Yeah.
You know
Well, he gets
what I
to do it on
mean?
ESPN's PJ right
He
now.
does because he's doing game day and calling the game at
Right.
night. His schedule would probably be a lot more relieved during the season. You know what I mean? I know that Herbstreit works, 20 weeks a year, 22 weeks a year, and he makes $6 million. It's a hell of a life. But in those 22 weeks, he's working his ass off.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'd imagine that at Amazon, if he's just calling an NFL game a week, or if they kind of put him into a role where he's similar to where he is now, it's not going to be the workload that Saturdays are for him now, where he's on Iowa's campus doing game day and that he's at, LSU that night calling the play-by-play. I mean, he's traveling all over the world on private jets, and it's a good life, but I mean, it's exhausting. It's taxing.
Why didn't he just call the game that he's at?
Because sometimes they don't align.
What do you mean?
Like,
That's the game of the day.
Right.
Sometimes the game day feature is not the primetime game of the night.
Like
and
they
he's
were
the
Michigan.
primetime.
Right, but if you want to make it easier
Sure.
on him, just be like, hey, you're already here. Just call this game.
Right.
Well, they were at like Michigan, Ohio State, but Michigan, Ohio State is obviously on Fox. So
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's
Sure.
why it doesn't matter.
Broadcast partners,
Yes.
right?
Well,
And if-
Amazon's just owned by
I kind of see
ESPN.
I kind of see the game day model starting to.
Yeah,
That's
it's
from what
kinda-
if
it's
they
kinda-
pick Herb Street off, it's over.
Well, it's over. If Herb Street's gone, it's over. But what Barstool is doing now on campuses is the play.
That's what college kids want to go see.
That's what they
don't
want. It's
wanna go
more
see a crusty old
access.
man.
Yeah, they don't want to see all this stuff. Don't show up in suits.
Right.
I don't want to see you.
That's how you
standing
get hit
there
with a
in
golf
suits.
ball.
Right.
I want to see somebody with their shirt off and,
Right.
a
A college atmosphere.
A college atmosphere.
A college
with your-
game day
Yeah,
atmosphere.
got basketball goals painted on your chest.
Right. And I don't need Herb Street in that portion of the day telling me what the game's going to look like.
No.
You know? I mean, if.
I'm not going to remember anyway.
Exactly.
Well, y'all just went from like really wanting to watch him to not care.
No, he's
No, I'm
good.
talking about in the pregame.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
you don't
Good.
need him
He's great in the
on
booth.
he's great on the
Yeah.
game. You know what I mean? I
But
think
the college game day model, it started off, it
It was
lived
revolutionary.
revolutionary, but then it turned into the ESPN did. They're like, oh, this is fun. Let's kick all the fun out. But now you have this product that people can't seem to get enough of. But we don't want any of the bullshit surrounding it. We don't want any of the college stuff. We just want
Yeah.
here's information again.
Yeah.
Mark Cumby, Jordy, work on your game calling skills. I will, Mark. That's good, excellent advice.
So we know which team is which. Start
Andrew Messina, it sucks that CBS and CBS are splitting up. CBS and the SEC are splitting up. Those two are synonymous. Whew.
That's the only thing I'll miss about
too.
that. Because
the
Let me
best.
say it's the best.
who calls the games?
Vern
Gary and
Lundqvist.
Vern.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Alabama.
Well, Vern, that's how it goes, Vern. Like, bro, oh my, get him off the TV.
I miss old Vern.
Uncle Vern,
Uncle Vern.
great Masters.
In my
call.
life.
Great Masters calls.
Yes.
that's a
That's
Masters
Tiger
call.
Woods.
Is that Tiger
Yeah,
Woods?
yeah.
Yeah.
The
In
chip.
your life.
In your life.
In your life.
Mm.
In your life.
I think
Have
he-
you ever? It was great.
I love that when he gets excited, he doesn't have like a go-to call. He just says, "Oh, it's a good place."
That's Uncle Vern.
It's Uncle Vern.
That's why you love him.
It's like he's in a recliner.
Oh, yeah, right. Tyrann Matthew.
Yeah.
But he may have put the ball in the hole for Tiger with his call. Maybe he shook the green a little bit. People don't say that.
It was
You're
a great
wondering.
call.
It was.
Great call.
The call on the Georgia touchdown for Tyra in the SEC championship. Splits a tackle, splits another, avoids a teammate. He heads to the corner. He's done it again.
Avoids a teammate. Ooh.
D'Angelo Peterson.
Yeah. Nobody knew where he was. Dude. Tyra was on both sides
It
of
was
the
like-
field.
Peterson kills the punter.
Yes.
He kills the punter. He hits him with his left arm like this, and the punter like flies like 10 feet back.
Probably would get called back today.
It could.
Probably would have got called back anyway because
Oh,
flip
yeah.
to the
And that's when
ref.
Gary kind of showed his bias.
yeah, he was like, "Did he flip the ball
Yeah,
before
he was like,
he
"Oh,
got
we
the
can't
end
fix
zone?"
this. We can't review it. It's like, no, dude, it's
Shut
already
up,
over.
Gary.
It's over,
Shut up,
man.
Gary.
Play's over.
Feel the moment.
Kick the extra point. Hurry up.
Golly.
Saban keeps texting me, telling me to tell everybody about this. All right, good show today. We appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, comment on the post. We will be back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mikey Matuk of Mic'd Up will be here at 11 a.m., 11 to 1 o'clock, coming at you on the Mic'd Up podcast and the Mic'd Up YouTube station. Make sure you are subscribed there. If you do not know where to find it, you can log on to the Jordy Culotta Show YouTube page, and you'll find a subscription to Mic'd Up right there, right underneath the tab there on our YouTube station.
They got the storm chasers, so those
Oh,
guys
yeah,
go around
I was
and
about to
race.
say, did you see
They
they got-
tried to put the storm chasing jacket on him, and it wouldn't fit.
Yeah, but he looked so good, dude.
The
Arkansas
storm-
kicked him out.
The Storm Chasers, they're banned from Arkansas. Like,
Yeah.
they told him, like, if you come back, like, we'll arrest you.
We should send him there tomorrow night on our project. Tonight.
Yeah, well, we don't know him there tonight. We didn't hear it for Alabama.
Dude,
All right, have a great day. Make sure you're tuned in to Mic'd Up, 11 o'clock. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.